What's going on, everybody? Whoa! 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 Out of nowhere, Omega Star with the resubscribe. That is 11 months. That is 20 months. That is 20 months, Omega Star. Thank you. Thank you right out the gate there. What's going on, everybody? How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is having an amazing morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is in your time zone. It is Sunday, the 18th of January, 2026. This is NCC TV coming at you live from the Amami Airport. We are live, or at least that's how it appears to me. Could be a brain in a jar somewhere. Don't know, don't care. Shouts out to all my weasels out there, all my forest creatures and jellyfish, rocking out to the realest of the real synthetic lifeform streamer, trapped in a cyber brain and body like some kind of ghost in a half shell in this late stage hyper-capitalist dystopia, forced to exist in this twilight realm to pay off my debt to society and my student loans. I hope you're having a good day, whoever, whatever, wherever, and however you are. We're about to jump right into it here on twitch.tv, youtube.com, high risk, high reward, high on life, or whatever simulation, simulacrum, simultaneous, spontaneous singularity of consciousness this is, was, or will be sometime in the not too distant cyber future. Chat, what just went on before I got in here? Okay, so first they're like, I'm pod ice, like, and no, like, you know, nobody knows what is pod ice. What are you saying? I'm pod ice. But then I think they meant pro ice, right? The safer the rest of the world will become, the more ice cracks down on the United States. Down with America, go ice. Chat, am I streaming in, did Bad Empanada stream just end? Anybody want to tell me what the fuck that was? Did Bad Empanada just get out? I know he was streaming earlier today. Like, where did that come from? What a wild contrivance. I hate Trump's foreign policy so much that I support his domestic policy. Because as long as he's doing the domestic policy, I guess he's not doing the foreign policy. I'm pot ice. I stay free pot for all. I say free pot ice for all. Is pot ice like the new flavor of some kind of energy drink that, you know, this is what we could have. The government, either, you know, Democrat or Republican, actually had some guts and just like stopped bullshitting, then we would have pot soda in the grocery store. Of course, you have to have an ID to get it, right? But there it is. And it's not, yeah, I've seen it before, right? I know it exists, and I think I've tried it, and it does work pretty well. But the problem is it's expensive. It's like ridiculously expensive. Anybody ever seen pot ice, or not pot ice, but pot soda? It's a thing. It's definitely a thing, but that's what I mean. It's like there's so much fucking around with the drug laws when either party, anytime they wanted to just like have great accolades, they could just be like, hey, guess what? It's an herb. It's an herb. Keep it away from your kids, but it's an herb, right? It's like, why can't we just be normal? I thought you were asking for pot soda or pop soda? Legally, we need to ask this of every customer. I mean, I want pot pop. Like, I want my pot to pop. But chat, what the fuck was that? Any theories? Anybody want to advance a theory here? We're kind of dealing with limited time today, but I do have some really good content for you. For everybody that complains, or not even complains, because I feel like not a lot of people complain, but I know it's an issue. I know it's an issue that sometimes the thing that I'm covering is just like too high stress to really deal with. And, you know, dealing with the, you know, outcome of Trump's policies, you've got enough to deal with. And right, I know that like I tend to, you know, sometimes feel like we're leaving on like a bad note because, you know, America and to a certain degree the world is on a bad note right now. But this one is actually good. this is a fairly happy ending. In that our brave little boy, our J6er, who came all the way out to Minnesota to show those lips who's boss, and was able to garner, I don't know, between 5 and 10 supporters at the maximum, point in his protest, to protest for ICE, or was it against Islam? I don't know, chat. This guy was like, what? He was like burning Qurans and stuff. He was just trying to piss somebody off, right? He seemed to be trying to get a reaction, and I mean, he got some kind of reaction. But the good news, chat, is that he's alive. All right, he disappeared into the crowd, and we weren't sure what his fate was. But he has turned up again, and he is alive and not well. He is alive and very, very not well. I saw an ad for a shroom microdose tincture on a streaming service. Is that legal? And maybe in like Oregon, that would be legal. Is it a state-by-state thing? I wonder what that does, the microdosing thing, because it's a different thing than, obviously people for, since time immemorial, people have used entheogens like mushrooms in order to, I don't know, glimpse the ineffable truth that the normal mind is not able to perceive. But I think microdosing is like it's a smaller adjustment, right? It's like the idea is people are, I don't know, what do people microdose shrooms for? It's a thing. Uzoops resubscribing with a prime. Look at that, we're at 9 already. That's amazing, chat. Yeah, again, sorry for the like lack of streams. It's not that I don't have content. It's that in some ways, like I'm like doubting myself as how to like present the content, because believe it or not, that is important. So like I said, we have a good story today, a good story with a happy ending, right? This is, somebody that was like, well, we're gonna show these libtards who's boss. We're gonna go to Minnesota and we're gonna, stomp all over their feelings. We're gonna trigger the libs, and it turns out, well, he fucked around and he found out, right? So that's a pretty good story. That's a pretty interesting story. There's not going to be justice for this guy for anything he did on January 6th, but there's a little bit of justice maybe in that the guy that came to Minnesota to try to spit in the image of Renee Good is, he might have gotten spit on a little bit himself, chat. I'm just saying, I'm not sure what all happened. We don't know what happened out there in that crowd. What happens in Minneapolis stays in Minneapolis. Right, but I doubt very much that Jake Lang will be staying in Minneapolis anytime soon. You also got to wonder about these ICE agents, right? You know the situation out there right now? That's the other thing I want to talk to you about. We gotta catch up on what's going on in Minnesota with ICE, the continuing standoff between Tim Walz and Donald Trump. Trump trying to investigate Walz and Frey, the mayor of Minnesota, both the governor and the mayor. Tim Walz timidly activating the National Guard, although they're not in the streets. Libtard is such a 2016 word. I mean, not to these people. It's still near and dear to no. There's actually, Emily, you're right. There's worse stuff that they're calling us now. I didn't see what it was, right? But there's some acronym. Anybody know it? There's like an acronym that right wingers have for liberal women. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I actually don't know what it's called. I don't know what the acronym is. What does Gemini? Oh no. It sucks that anytime you use Google, that's the first thing that comes up. Right-wing term for liberal women? Oh no, are you serious? Oh no, chat, is this real? Okay, New York Times, here we go. Oh my god, chat. Okay, so if you're a white liberal woman, first of all, you're affluent, you're rich, there's no arguing with it. Doesn't fucking matter. We're just, even if you're not, we're gonna say you are. right? But second of all, you're also awful. You're also awful because you're an affluent white. Yeah, because that's the whole thing. You're affluent white. So even if you're a waffle, right? Even if you're not awful, you're not affluent, you're struggling like most people in Trump's America, you know, they're still gonna call you awful anyway, right? Affluent white female urban liberal. They thought they cooked, chat. There you go, Emily French. I thank you for challenging me to upgrade my right-wing lexicon. First we were libtards, now we are awful. Although, I don't know how far that extends. I know that they'll you know, basically extend it to anyone. Have you noticed this, chat? There's like an ascribed there's a certain amount of poshness ascribed to like where you live, which is weird because it like, you know, the right-wing stereotypes, right, of big cities are it's urban and it's ethnic and it's you know, it's you know, poor and it's dangerous and it's violent, right? They got those like you know, stereotypes of urban areas, but then they're also going to be like, but also all the white women living there are affluent, right? They charge you a different rent depending on your race, I guess. I don't know, chat. It doesn't make any sense, but would you expect it to? Would you expect any right-wing shit to make sense at this point? No, but what does make sense is that since I missed stream times, I've got a lot of backup content and I really need to cover some of this stuff because this story is funny, right? The next story that we've got coming up for you is funny too. And that's the one that's been driving me crazy because I know it's the fieriest content I've had in a long time and I'll probably be talking about it tomorrow, chat. So, you know, today's content, God, I keep on forgetting his fucking name, Jake Lang. I can't remember anybody's name that's Jake. Jake is such a normal name. I just like, I don't remember it, but yeah, Jake Lang. Today we're talking about Jake Lang. He's the little Nazi that could, the little J6er that fucked around and found out in the streets of Minneapolis this weekend, right? Tomorrow, I am hoping to cover the DGGer of the year. One in chat, if you know what the fuck does that mean? If you know what that means, one in chat. One in chat to anybody who knows what a DGGer is, what a DGGer of the year is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're gonna start throwing waffles at us, chat. If you're, well, the what? So we got some knowers in chat, some knowers of the DGGer of the year, right? We touched on this very briefly, that there's a guy named Stale who runs LSF. LSF is Livestream Fails. Livestream Fails is the site that generally, if there's an anti-Hasan clip out there, it's probably out there because they have propagated it, right? And Stale 2000 is the mod of Livestream Fails. This is a Destiny community member, aka DGGer, who I think has modded for Destiny, at least in some of his shows before. I think or anything else is the one that he's a mod for. He's like a power mod. He mods in a lot of places, right? This guy's all over the place. He's making tracks. He's modding on Reddit. He's a power mod. Yeah, he's modding in Destiny's community. And not only is he able to mod, right, this guy's got all kinds of energy, right? All kinds of energy. He's doing all kinds of things. If I had his energy, chat, you would have like 12-hour streams every day. Oh my God. Omega Star, thank you for the contribution on Throne. Thank you so much. And somehow it's dialed back. Maybe Throne fixed it. Before, it used to always be the case that whenever I'd get a Throne donation, that it would we rubs you too. You know, ironically enough, Omega Star. Thank you so much. That's really sweet. Yeah, he's a celebrity. But anyway, yeah. So this is we've talked about him a little bit. You know, he just seemed like a pathetic figure. There's a video of him telling DGG why he should be the DGGer of the year. Like, why of all the no-lifes of Destiny's fans, why he is the most no-life of all the no-lifes, right? Even though he's not. He's doing a whole bunch of things. He's doing a whole bunch at once. I mean, he's doing too much, maybe. I don't know. The guy should slow down a little bit, I think. You don't want to burn out, chat, because that's bad. Yeah, actually, he should be treated... He is a celebrity. But anyway, yeah, we got to cover him too. I think I'm going to cover him tomorrow. I don't want to bite off too much more than I can chew for today, because there is a lot. We got DGGer of the year. Hasan has talked about this guy too, because it turns out he's actually more influential than I realized. So I was aware of the fact that he's the mod of LSF, right? That he's the guy that makes the decisions of, like, you know, does a clip get banned from the site, for instance, right? So he is kind of, you know, behind the wheel of driving one of the larger Hasan hate platforms. What I didn't know, though, was that Livestream Fails has also been used to go after Twitch when they were going after Hasan and trying to get him banned, and they couldn't get Twitch to ban him. Remember, they went after Dan Clancy and Twitch, and LSF has actually been part of that as well, right? So this is actually, there used to be a name for this back in the day on Twitch. One in chat, if you're an old school Twitch poll viewer. Do I have anybody over in Twitch chat or in YouTube chat that's from like way back in the day? There was a name for this, right? Somebody that is not a influencer and yet wields a striking amount of influence, right? There was a name for this. There was a term of art used for people, right, that were behind the scenes and that you know could boast that they were the true power, right? It wasn't about any of the shitty streamers. It wasn't about any of the communities or the drama. No, it was really about these movers and shakers is what they would call themselves. And you know, it was always kind of a weird thing of like, wait, you could never tell 100% how serious they were about, like, you know, their power behind the scenes. These were people that were connected, right? One of the people I can think of was a friend of Dylan's and of myself, right? That, you know, whose name was thrown around when it came to movers and shakers. Another person truly hated me, probably more than anyone else. I exposed an embarrassing Minecraft video that she had made, like, to come after me. She made a Minecraft shit-talking video, chat. I haven't talked about this in a long time, right? But this person, you know, was a Minecrafter, and they did a video of them flying around in a, oh my god, what the fuck is it called, chat? The thing that you use on a Minecraft to fly? It's a weird name. It's not a jetpack. You'd think it would be a jetpack, right? But it's like called something else. Anyway, she's flying around in Minecraft talking about how I got you, NCC. I got you right where I want you. And it's like the whole time, it's just like the most cringe Elytra. Thank you. That's what it's called. Yeah, it's the Elytra. She's flying around in her Elytra, you know, talking shit. And I just never, like, people do talk shit about each other, but there's like a certain limit to it. It's usually not just like this, like, I don't know. And I mean, like you know, like a wrestling promo. Like when a wrestler is like, I'm gonna face you at Super Smash this summer, and you better watch out, brother, because I'm coming after you. You know what I'm talking about? The wrestler thing. It was like that, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, movers and shakers, right? Sometimes they do actually have influence behind the scenes, right? Despite the ridiculous videos that they make, right? Despite constantly thinking that they have more influence than they really do, misunderstanding the influence they do have, alienating people in their attempts to flex their power. Yeah, they make a lot of mistakes, and then they disappear from polite society. If they're smart, because the other option is they just become lolcows, right? And we don't want that for anybody. Least of all the DGGer of the year. not me in the Minecraft mines right now. Well, we got to get into this. So that's the content that's coming to you for tomorrow. I just want to say it to you in case anybody sees it and is like, that is boring. That is Hasan versus a mod. Yes, Hasan exposed Destiny's mod, right? That's probably the title I'm going to go with. And I'm so worried that like a ton of you are just going to be like, that does not sound very, that sounds like you're trying to drum up. I swear to God, this shit is wild. This guy has got Moist Critical is making a video about this guy because he flexed his power as a mod. He got involved in something that people are calling a scam. I haven't really looked into it as to whether it is or is not a scam, but it sounded to me a lot like the Fire Festival, right? This event that he had involved LSF with sounded like something that's probably not going to happen. Put all my monies on Anna. I will, Megastar, and thanks for getting us started today. All y'all. Uzoops as well. But yeah, I'm just letting you know what we got coming tomorrow in hopes that you might tune in. I don't know how else to let you know that this is actually fire content. Fire, like the Fire Festival content? Yeah, it's fire content, but don't sleep on it, right? Because it'd be really easy to sleep on and think that this is like somehow not that, but like the NCC has run out of stuff to talk about. So she's talking about one of Destiny's mods. No, I'm not just going to be talking about one of Destiny's mods, okay? I'm also going to be talking about Destiny's latest orbiter, who, you know, strange thing about DGG that I've noticed, the consistent viewpoint, I think, that is incredibly popular within DGG, that to the outside of the DGG looks, outside of Destiny's community looks kind of sus, is their take around, no, why are we, that is gonna get me in trouble, isn't it? Music-wise, potentially. We gotta find something. We gotta find something that will not get me in trouble at all. All right, go back to that. I clicked. There we go. Okay. The talent company. Wait, what's the talent company? Yeah, so some of the chat knows more about this, maybe even than I do. But yeah, there's a talent company. Asmongold is the owner of this company. Yeah, I don't know how to explain this, right? It's like all these webs connecting Destiny, you know, and Asmongold. But what I was getting to, chat, is that there's this weird tendency in the Destiny community. All right, so they love to defend unpopular viewpoints, right? If they can find an unpopular viewpoint that most people are like, why do you think that? They will defend it. Case in point, incest. They fucking love to talk about incest because they have heard Destiny walk through a line of logic, you know, that asks someone what's wrong with incest. And, you know, they can find a scenario in which case all of the things that people would say is wrong about incest is not an issue, does not take place, right? I think the scenario is that there are gay fraternal twins who are attracted to each other, and in that case, you're not going to end up with a, you know, pregnancy that is going to be problematic. You know, you're not mixing, like, you know, you're not inbreeding, right? There's no power dynamic. And there's what is it? I can't remember the other, but right, you know, they love to make a big point of like, no, theoretically, actually, incest could be totally fine, totally not morally objectionable. And while I will say, like, I don't have a particular, I'm not gonna tell the twins that are in a relation, the fraternal twins that are in a relationship together, you know, what to do with their, you know, lives, right? It does seem like you just really kind of want to defend incest on some level, right? It makes me want to, it's reasoning that I'm trying to find the motivation. What's the motivation for this reasoning? Why are we trying to justify incest here, right? I have a feeling it's not for those, you know, gay fraternal twins that happen to be attracted to each other. I have a feeling, but anyway, that's one of them. That's one of the things that they bring up. And, you know, this is true with Destiny. This is true with Vosh. This is true with a lot of people that have spent time in that community. But the even more common common thing is it manifests in different ways, but it's feeling like it's important to distinguish a ephebophile from a pedophile from a hebephile, right? The distinction in different kinds of crimes against minors, I suppose they think are really important, and their desire for some kind of harm reduction to be offered to to people who have that attraction as a way of harm reduction. In other words, chat, there's often an argument of some kind, for a kind of digital approximation of CSAM as a means of harm reduction. So it's like that stuff too, right? And look, evidence, okay, Mr. Girl, Vosh came out of Destiny's community. Vosh's, attraction to, short stack goblins, aka Lolicon. And then, and there's been others too, right? There was this random guy when I started that strangely, Destiny and Vosh would appear on this guy's program like a lot. Like he had almost no viewers, but he was able to put together a panel with like all of the big names in politics like that. And I always kind of wondered why. And then one day he got banned for suggesting in his Twitch chat that this kind of digital approximation of CSAM should be made legal. And yeah, Twitch Twitch has permanently banned him for that one, right? But yeah, you're gonna see this everywhere, and in Destiny's newest Orbiter 2, right? The Destiny, just like Mr. Girl had a history of pushing the envelope when it came to people's reactions to stuff involving minors, right? Just like Mr. Girl was always trying to push that envelope, saying provocative things in order to get attention, saying that he thought his commentary on the movie Cuties, which he termed, which he called hot, right? There's like a thing about in Destiny's community, right? A lot of them have that dog in them. And this latest Orbiter has an even stranger story. Supposedly this Orbiter was told by her therapist that she could seek some kind of therapy in Lolicon. And that's just the beginning, right? That's just the beginning. But it's really weird. This is who Destiny pitched it to when all the other Orbiters left, right? And apparently this mod of the year that we're going to talk about tomorrow, I'm giving you so much promo for tomorrow's show, chat. So please make sure to be there tomorrow when I talk about the mod of the year, the DGGer of the year, whatever. But this DGGer of the year, this head mod at LSF was because I was wondering, all of a sudden this person, this marginal person who nobody wanted to be associated with, all of a sudden this person was getting views. And, part of that was them appearing with Destiny a few times. But also I think part of it was them being pushed by LSF. LSF decided that Destiny looked a little lonely. He needed some Orbiters. He needed some Defenders. And they were just like, well, we're LSF. I mean, we can make anyone big. So this person's saying good things about Destiny. This person's defending Destiny. Why can't we make this person like the movers and the shakers? They're going to move and shake, and they're going to create a star in food shops, right? That was the idea. I don't think it worked out like that. I mean, I saw her, I would see her streams, several months ago. She did have, the best numbers I think she's ever had for a little while, but it seems like it hasn't really stuck. I don't know. I don't see her popping up in the algorithm anymore. So maybe it didn't work. Wait, what's not a thing according to the Louis Theroux documentary? Oh no, have I not seen this one? Mythic Talent was promising and organizing streamers to collab. Yeah, so the idea of the project that this guy was promoting that got him banned as mod of LSF, right, was that you would pick your favorite streamer in the Mythic Talent roster, right? So of the streamers that Asmongold's talent company managed, you could say, hey, I really like Asmongold. Okay, so you know we bring you on, and it's like a reality show where there's contests, but it's like you and the streamer, right? So you could just pick a streamer and be like, I want to be on their team. I want to be on the Roach Gods team, right? And then, you know, if you and the Roach God, if you and Asmongold are able to win like a series of events, then you can get $20 million. Was that the idea? The doco about pedophilia that Louis Theroux did went through treatment options. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but anyway, the whole, like, you know, there's this weird thing with Destiny's community, and then Destiny himself having this whole scandal where he's texting a minor with you know, with videos of people that he's been with that he's unconsensually sharing. Yeah, I mean, that's what's wild about it, Dwight. So it sounds like a scam, doesn't it? This is what people are saying. So this mod started promoting this stuff, and people were like, ooh, I don't know, that sounds like a scam. To me, it sounds like the Fire Festival, right? It's like that kind of, it doesn't sound like a scam at all. No, of course not. But yeah, that's what we're going to be covering tomorrow. All right, so just so you're clear, that's all tomorrow, right? Stick around, make sure to watch tomorrow. Because I don't know how to call that, like, in a way that people will be interested in. Do I say Destiny's mod? Do I say the Reddit mod? The platonic ideal of a Reddit mod? How do I call? You know what I mean? Just by itself, it's like this crazy Reddit guy is doing nutso shit, right? Come watch. But either way, chat, today we're gonna do something that I know you'll all like, right? We're gonna watch the downfall of a Nazi. I don't call him a Nazi because I call everyone a Nazi or that's some kind of reflexive thing. I call him a Nazi because he expresses like Nazi, white nationalist, what have you, whatever you want to call it, ideas, right? I'm pretty sure, you know, this guy self-identifies as a Nazi too, right? And, you know, he was one of the J6ers that Trump pardoned, and he's shown up in Minnesota. And he did not have a good time. He was not treated to hot dish, right? He was not invited to the potluck, chat. This guy had a really bad time in Minnesota. This guy had a very bad accident. He may have slipped and fallen on the, you know, icy terrain. And we wonder, is he okay? Well, we're gonna find out that today. We're gonna find out how he fucked around. We're gonna find out how he found out. And hopefully this will be like a little bit of a, you know, happy video, right? As opposed to what I'm normally covering, which is the increasing authoritarian nature of the Trump administration and the Democratic Party's failure to address it. I feel like it's what I normally cover, and that's not a very comfortable thing, right? That's not a very comfortable thing to cover. That's not a very nice thing to cover. That doesn't often leave you with a smile, chat. I do aim today. I know sometimes I manage to leave you with a smile nonetheless. I know for some of you, I am your filter. I'm tanking that psychic damage so that you don't have to. But today I think I'm gonna leave. You know, you're all gonna be happy customers. You're really happy you watched today. So, and you're gonna be even happier if you watch tomorrow. Assman Hole, holiest of holes, comes with your choice of a dead rat, bussy, winker. Wait, what's a winker? Is that like a wanker? Fun size Nick Fuentes hole puncher. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of fun. We're gonna have that. We're gonna do that today, and especially because I'm like limited on time. I've got to get to class. We've also got bonus content, which is, I think, snack sized as well. I tried my best, chat. I think all of this content is gettable, doable today. These are the options. You can vote for them on YouTube, chat. They're up. There's a poll right now on YouTube if you want to go over there and vote. While you do, make sure to like the stream, because that helps me out a lot. We got CoffeeZilla's Epstein update. Yeah, we haven't been checking in on Epstein, but that law is still a law, chat, and the Trump administration is in violation of it, right? They're in violation of the Epstein Transparency Act. So we got an update on that all from CoffeeZilla. Should be short and sweet. Pisco debates Chud logic on ice. I hope that Pisco can put away Chud pretty quickly. Chud Logic's one of these British guys that loves to comment on.
Tom 3 Star super chatted $5. The best drama is drama that I'm not involved in.
That's how I feel, Omega Star. Absolutely. And thank you for the super chat, and thank you for getting us started on the butterfly goal. All right, so like you all have 2 hours and 18 minutes to try to put a butterfly in my hair. Omega got us started off with one teal super chat. If we can get 9 more teal super chats, I will put this butterfly in my hair. And we've got 2 hours and 18 minutes to do that. Right, so that's that goal. The other goal that we have for today is the bonus content goal, right? The first step on that is gonna be for you to, oh wait, what am I looking for here? For you to go ahead and vote on the poll that's going on right now. It looks like CoffeeZilla is in first place. We've only got 25 votes though. We've only got 25 votes. Very slow night. Very late night. Many dream characters in the chat tonight. We only have 25 votes, so make sure to vote if you haven't already. Your vote will count for a lot. Will count for significantly more on a night like tonight. CoffeeZilla in first place. Anna Kasparian apologizes in second place. There's also something with Jink Uger talking to Crystal. I don't know. Anybody see that? Jink Uger talked to Crystal, Crystal Ball of Crystal and Kyle, and supposedly like tried to mend some kind of bridges. Basically, TYT is realizing that they fucked up by going MAGA, is what it is. And they're trying to pull it back. I don't think they're fully pulling it back. I don't think they're going to stop being anti-homeless or, pro tough on crime or any of the horrible shit that they do that makes people hate them. I don't think any of that's changing. But at least they're going to be, unambiguously negative on Trump for the foreseeable future, right? They admitted that they made a mistake. So that's... 32%, that's in second place. Third place in with 20% is Hasan versus a Hasanabi head ICE agent. Yeah, Hasan's just like, what's up, shower chat? Hasan is just talking to chat, and all of a sudden a chatter pops up and is like, hey, I'm an ICE agent. And I mean, are they lying? Are they trolling? They seem to, have an answer to every question Hasan expressed. So maybe they're not lying. Maybe they're not. Too late they showed who TYT is. I agree with you, shower chat. In fact, I maybe, if I have time, if I could make this work, I feel like I need to make a video about this because I want to set the record straight on who TYT is. And my biggest, if I had to describe it in one word, it would be morally flexible. I'm sorry, that's 2 words, but they're morally flexible, so I can be flexible in terms of my one-word answer, right? I can have that wiggle room to actually use 2 words for my one-word answer, morally flexible. I don't know, chat. If you want to try to portmanteau that word, you're welcome to it. But Kayla Law also says, I will never forgive them. Yeah, I'm not buying their shit. It feels like a lot of people who you wouldn't expect to be are at least, wanting to give them a second chance, but most of them with at least the knowledge that TYT has hurt a lot of people in the midst of their downfall. They've attacked their own hosts a lot, especially marginalized hosts on TYT. Got some of the worst of the vitriol from Anna and Jink, so we'd hope at least they'd apologize to them. And honestly, like, I can't be on your side if you were like, I am left on every issue except crime, which I think we need to crack down on, and the homeless. The homeless have it way too good. Way too good. We got to make our state miserable for the homeless, right? I'm sorry, I can't fucking be friends with you. I can't be like, all right, well, you're good on Gaza at least. No, you suck, and I don't trust you. And I feel like I wonder if everybody was like pro-Israel right now, would you be too? That's what I think with TYT, right? I don't trust any of their, even the good parts of TYT. I do not trust.
Atom 3 Star super chatted $5. Francesca did an amazing reaction video about Anna.
Oh God, we gotta check that out. Well, anyway, chat, we gotta do TYT. Maybe we'll get a little bit of it in the bonus chat. That does make things easier for me. So if I end up incorporating any streamed content into whatever video I end up making about TYT, because I really want people to understand where they came from, what their audience was like, who the people supporting them were. How badly they turned on them, how badly they backstabbed them, and why maybe you should think twice before, if it was just like they made a mistake, right? If it was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know, my political analysis slipped, I made a mistake, I'm so sorry, I get it now, right? If it was just like, I don't know, I don't even know, a calculation that they'd gotten wrong, that'd be one thing. But supporting motherfucking Trump, going from he is a fascist to like, we can make a coalition with him, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking, same thing with Bill Maher. People shouldn't let Bill Maher off the hook on that either. Morning Joe, all these motherfuckers. Yeah, Rashad Ritchie is a sham. I didn't even cover that. I don't even know. I actually don't know that much about Rashad Ritchie. I knew out of everybody from TYT, he was like the one person that people in my community still liked. But that apparently he has just been lying about a lot of stuff, according to what I've seen so far. Again, I think I only watch their former content creators. Yeah, and there's some people even on TYT who I think like does a good job. Like I think TYT Sports, who is it that is in charge of TYT Sports? Gavin Newsom should join TYT. I mean, birds of a feather, right? Dostoevsky. Although, you know what? Anna loves to hate Gavin. Anna loves to be a Gavin hater, even though it doesn't make sense, because it feels like Gavin Newsom would be exactly her kind of politician. Gavin caves on just the right issues for Anna. TYT heel turn is massive. Yeah, Firebird. And I think that now that we've got enough, like, of the we've seen enough, right? I feel like there needs to be a story so far video, right? For people who may have missed some of the, because I would hate for people, a lot of people are getting introduced to TYT. Yeah, Rick Strom, yes, on TYT Sports does really good work. John Adirola from time to time, puts together some pretty good videos. Yeah, there's definitely people like still in the network that I think that I would love to see them get out of the steaming dumpster of shit before it explodes, right? I would love to see them, free themselves from TYT. When Hasan leaving TYT is a massive win for Hasan, they fucked. Oh God, yeah. So many mistakes were made, but like they made all these like really cynical choices too. Like, right? Like Katzenberg comes by and they are like, oh yeah, we could be progressive with a touch of anti-homelessness. Sure. Yeah. And then Polymarket Studio comes by and they basically give away the farm. What is it, the phrase, chat? Give away the barn, give away the horse, give away the farm. You know what I'm talking about, right? I hope you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I know what I'm talking about, right? What is the phrase, chat? You give away everything, right? They gave away their credibility, which is really everything to a progressive media outlet, right? There's a lot of people on television or elsewhere who play it being progressive and really sort of show their true colors at times. I think TYT is, definitely not the real progressives. Anyway, chat, we gotta get going here. You sell the sheep station. What is it's a boomer phrase. When you sell, you give up on everything. Like you give somebody everything they want, right? Is it you sold the farm? Or is it you sold the barn? Or is it you sold the horse? The whole horse, maybe? Yeah, so wait, were any of those degrees on Dr. Rashad Ritchie real? Did he have, like, I heard, last I heard, there was a master's that seemed legit, maybe. Sold your soul? I mean, pretty much, but just gave it all up. The phrase is betting the farm. Sold the farm. Omega Star says that's a thing. The farm is right. So it's sold the farm. You sold the, when you're like, fully give in to somebody, you've sold the farm. And I really think they did that in their in their approach to MAGA, whether it be Glenn Beck with Anna Kasparian, whether it be Cenk Uygur with Charlie Kirk, or whatever embarrassing engagement, Megyn Kelly, Anna Kasparian becoming like Megyn Kelly's BFF. Like, I don't know. Have they given notice to the right wingers yet? The right wingers that were excited about, oh yeah, now TYT is selling out the entire progressive movement, saying that they're full of shit, saying that we were right all along, saying that we're the real, gave away the farm. I think you're right, Firebird. Yeah, gave away the farm. I think that's it. I don't know if it's sold the farm. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's gave away the farm. They did sell out. They sold out in a big way. So anyway, we're gonna have to get to that when we can get to that. Maybe we can get to a little bit of that today, because we do have the Anna Kasparian apologized, and Omega Star has put, wait, I think it's actually more like, I think it's more like 36 or something on Anna Kasparian. So yeah, we might get that. It all depends on you, chat. The fun half, or the free half, I decide what we're covering for that. We're going to be talking about a weird little Nazi named Jake Lang. Jake Lang. I keep on forgetting the guy's name. He's got the most forgettable name in the world, but his name is Jake Lang. He's a Nazi. He was a J6er, and he was in Minnesota. We're going to cover that today. The second half of the show is up to you to choose. You can choose by voting. You can choose, whether we get it or not by donating. If this number gets to 100, I'll stick around and do the top subject, the top scoring subject at the time. If it gets to 200, I'll try to fit in the top 2. And this means, chat, even if I have to, do it the next day, right? Because class comes up and I can't, you know what I mean? You'll get extra content, basically. That's a pretty Nazi name, I guess. I don't know. What would you expect a Nazi to be named? I guess Jake Lang's not that surprising. But anyway, if we can get this number, which is now 39, 61 points forward to 100, then I'll stick around and do the top topic. If we get it to 200, I'll do the top 2 topics. And yeah, the things that make this number go up is our super chat, super stickers. If you get yourself a membership on YouTube, if you gift a membership on YouTube, if you support me on Throne.com like a Megastar just did, or if you sign up for my Patreon, or if you support me on Twitch, which you can do for free, just like Ozoops did, by using Prime. If you got Prime, no judgment, right? You can do something good with it. You can take money away from a big evil corporation and give it right to me. A little bit of money will go in my coffers when you do this, just by connecting your Twitch account to your Amazon Prime account. You got the ability to use what's called a Twitch Prime sub to get yourself a free sub to the streamer of your choice. If that happens to be me, you will get the ability to rewind during stream, woo, spooky, and also the ability to use emotes, right? And it's free to you. It's no cost to you. So that's a cool way to do it. If you wanna get yourself a subscription on Twitch, it is $6, which I know is a lot of money. I don't know, why do we have more Twitch subs than YouTube subs? I don't know. When they're half the price, maybe because they come with the fancy animated emotes. That's my guess, right? But you can get yourself one for $6, or if you're lucky, you might be gifted one by somebody very generous. But that sort of thing, more likely to happen if you're active in the chat, right? How else is somebody gonna know that you're there to even gift a sub if you're not in the chat with good takes? That is generally your best bet if you cannot afford, which I totally understand, the steep subscription price, right? Bonus gifted subs also make this number go forward, as do bits. Bits also work. Wait, how did you resubscribe again? Oh, you upped it to tier 2. What? Thank you, Omega Star. I don't know how to count that. Have I not been noticing like tier 2 and like subs and stuff? Oh my god, we're gonna have to figure out something to do with that, but I don't know how to count that. Maybe I upped my tier. Wow, well, congratulations and thank you. But yeah, so when you do donate, just like Omega did, you're not too concerned. I gotta add something for you. It's at least like, the cost of another sub, isn't it? I'm not sure exactly how it works, but But yeah, you can also let me know in chat, just like Omega did, when you donate, which topic you want to see, and I will actually add your donation as a percentage, just like I did with Omega, to the topic of your choice. So you can... Oh yeah, and I gotta take Vox Populi down to 0. But yeah, if you've got one of these topics that's crying out to you, you really want to see it as bonus content, you can make it more likely to happen by letting me know when you donate which of these topics you want to see, and I will put your money where your mouth is. I will add it at the end of the day as a bonus to the topic of your choice. There we go. I think that me in chat with good takes. That's right. Well, we'll look like fingers crossed too, right? Not the like the good fingers crossed. What's up with the fingers crossed thing, chat? Like it's good. Like you cross fingers for luck, but you also cross fingers if you're lying. Why is that a thing? I've never understood that, chat. Why crossing your fingers should be one thing. One thing per culture. Other cultures can have crossing your fingers mean something else, but the only good Jake is Jake from State Farm. Damn. Well, this Jake is not good. We're about to get into his business in just a second here. But yeah, I think I've accurately described what makes the bonus number go up if we get to 100 by the end of the stream. I'll stick around and cover one of these topics. If I can't somehow, right, or if we get to 200 or some crazy number and I can't cover everything, don't worry, I will still cover it tomorrow if worst comes to worst, right? I do have a hard out today because of Thai class, but I will make it happen as I have in the past. So anyway, with that, chat, I gotta thank my Patreons. Everybody on my Patreon gets at the $5 level and above, gets a fancy shout out at the beginning and end of each stream. So it's about time to do those now. All right, so shouts out are in order for user JMB, Brian, Emily French, Big Owl of the Cake Mix, Direful, Sarah Izymandias, Steven Sayers, Animus, Infallible Fowl, Oral Ellipsis, Nadia Yvette, Choki, Moe Noe, Funky Monkey, Temporal Insanity, Good for Gabby, Jules K, Crystal Saphira, and Buffy Geek. And a fancy shout out goes to Rachel K, Omega Star, and Zara. With that being said, chat, I believe it is time to make this freaking happen. So new enemy unlocked today. Is he a Nazi? I kind of think so. Woman rescues Jake Lang from Minnesota counter protesters. Wait, what? Rescues him from the counter protesters? Yo, USA Today is calling him conservative influencer. That's hilarious. There are a few right-wingers trying to make hay over this guy getting... failing to disrupt the protest. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the good version of this. I'm gonna have to go look in my Twitter. I'm gonna have to look in my Discord. Wait, maybe I didn't saw... I see that Hasan's got like kind of a Redux version on his main channel. Oh my god. I just know there was also a better video on... Okay, we don't want to go with the bot channel. Oh my god, chat, literally all I'm seeing is the bot channel and the main channel. The main channel's edited it down too long. The bot channel is, the bot channel. I would really rather not watch the bot channel. Hasanabi reactions. Hasanabi reactions. Oh.
Bro, just fucking lie, bro.
Because otherwise I'm just gonna have to go into my I'm gonna have to go into my watch history and find it from there, and it's gonna take longer. What am I missing? Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna have to do it that way. You know how like if you're looking for a tweet in somebody's feed, if there's somebody that doesn't tweet much, it's very easy to find. But if there's somebody that tweets all the time, it is fucking almost impossible. I think I know the search term though to use. Oh my god. Okay, well fucking bot channel it is, I guess. Fuck me. That's crazy. Oh my god, chat, I'm sorry. Once again, if anybody can hook me up with whatever Discord like Hasanabi Industrial Complex channels use and communicate in, I would love to, because you know, if it's like a thing like I'm guessing this is there's some reason that nobody covered this besides this channel. Anyway, let's go to the bot channel. My least favorite channel on the internet. We have precious time. We gotta guard our precious time. We're at 2 out of 10 on the butterfly goal. We need 8 more teal super chats or above to put manifest a butterfly in my hair. And we're 45 out of 100 on the bonus goal. That means we're already halfway there already. Living on a prayer. We're halfway there. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. And we'll do some bonus content. But yeah, let's get to the Jake what's his fuck first. I think they try not to post stuff. Hasan, yeah, so he's definitely posted this by now, right? That maybe that Magenta says I think they try not to post stuff Hasan is going to post on his channel, so we're not in danger of, I don't know, fucking with Hasan's main channel or anything by reacting to this. But yeah, I think the bot channel is not obeying the wishes of Hasan and his team in terms of posting some of the stuff that is going up on the main channel. I think that's a pretty good guess, Magenta. I think you're probably right. Anyway, let's take a look at what we got going on. Nazis in Minnesota. They're fucking around, chat. What happens after that?
Have an anti-Muslim march in Minneapolis. We got like 10 people Lamau. Mercado Medio's down on the ground too.
They didn't take the bait.
My goat.
They tried to bait him. Yeah, we're still alive. Appreciate everybody.
This guy's awesome.
This is he does this everywhere. This is the first time I've seen such a.
Yeah, the other thing I don't know about sometimes is the channels that cover the protests, right? Status Quo seems really good for that. In fact, it's one of the, like, they've just, the only issue with them is that they've now hooked up with Midas Touch. Midas Touch is so so wants to put out protest footage that they are working with Status Quo, which is good because it's going to get their stuff out to more people. But aside from that, like, I never know on these random channels that like have protest footage, like, is this like a chud trying to find, clips to, get retweeted by Elon with, or is this, somebody that's out there protesting? Sometimes it can be hard to find. This is the one from Weasel Court. I'll take a look at it, Ravy.
Minneapolis truly is on a league of their own in their country.
Some people think wearing a hat backwards for children. Some people. I feel that way too.
I mean, some people feel that Hasan is, sometimes a bit of a child himself.
Togetherness.
So that's okay. I have no problem with that.
Recap,
It's
on who this
incredible.
Jake guy is. He's a Nazi. What do you mean? That's who he is. Jake Lang.
This is Jake
some,
Lang.
Nazi weirdo. He's one of those guys that was, trying to start shit. You're giving Nick Merckx vibes, Law.
Yeah, I think you're right, Merc.
On God, bro, for real. Anyway, I'm gonna take the hat off. I'm not doing
Yeah, I think you're right. Mercado Media is one of the good ones.
that. Joe
Right Side Media is one of the bad ones.
Swole. I think when you're over the age of 30, you
Oh,
probably
also, chat. Have people been reacting to 60 Minutes on YouTube? I need to know because they've been doing good segments on Minnesota. I just don't know how that's gonna go as far as copyright.
shouldn't wear your hat backwards. But maybe.
Also, I think the one that the story that Barry Weiss pulled, I think the official version is coming out sometime soon, like with the I'm guessing with the Stephen Miller quote or whatever it is she wanted to get.
I mean, unless you're like working out and it requires you to flip it or something.
Wait, that's a Ryan Grimm haircut?
But I personally don't understand why people do that after. Like,
Lord Fisher,
do
news to
whatever you
share.
want.
Nice.
If you feel comfy with it, if you feel cozy with it, then, more power to you, right? But I personally
Yeah, Status Quo is amazing lately. They're like everywhere.
think like post 30, you look kind of silly. I mean, I wore my hat backwards for many, many years growing up. But now that I'm 30, I feel like I just, I don't see the need to do that. Is beanie weather anyway? When you get up to pee, make sure the model does merch for us. Absolutely love this one. Okay. Is this ageism? No hat policing, homie. Yeah, true. I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Okay. In any case,
It's so weird as a streamer when you like give your opinion on something and then people are like, no, I don't think, like, don't police my hats, and you're like, fine, don't, I just for me, like I am trying to stop wearing these backwards.
DOJ is investigating Minnesota's Walton Frey over alleged obstruction. Sources say we're going.
Directive says Magenta said I'd be interested to know how they've made any other alterations to the pulled 60 Minutes. That would be funny because we've got the original and we will be able to tell. I mean, I don't know if they realize how much the Streisand effect, kind of, it's a weird thing because, like, on one hand, you're doing the Streisand effect, right? When you try to bury something like Barry Weiss, she like out there trying to actively bury stuff for the Trump administration. We should do something with that, chat. Barry Weiss, but anyway, when you do something like that, you give it more attention, right? So there's more people that are clicking on the version that did get put up in the Canadian affiliate, I believe, than normally would. But at the same time, the massive, I mean, and it's still massive. Like, I saw the numbers. It was something, chat. What is it? Like, they get like upwards of 10 million views, maybe used to get upwards of 20 million views on 60 Minutes. Their numbers have been falling since the kill switch, basically, that Barry Weiss, I mean, put in for the Trump. Yeah, Barry I. Oh my God, Vamps, that's too edgy. I'm not allowed to say that. For the record, it's wait, her name sounds too much like Barry White, doesn't it? It's too close to Barry White. Barry White's the guy that sings "Can't Get Enough of Your Love," right? I get him mixed up with certain other 70s era singers.
Going to Barry Weiss, Israel News. We're doing Israel.
I mean, she's definitely, doing her best to bury ICE's dirty laundry for them.
Pro-Trump news.
I can say that.
CBS Saturday mornings. Barry Weiss's favorite broadcast. Israel's favorite news.
Wait, that's what's on CBS on Saturday? I guess there's no kids watching, so you might as well just put the news on.
And commentary.
I thought there was some kind of Barry Weiss cartoon show where she was putting on like conservative cartoons that tell you like Columbus was a hero and stuff.
All the news that's fit the print. CBS Saturday morning. let's get started there.
Doesn't CBS Saturday Morning sound like a cartoon thing?
So I guess it was only like 10 people.
Which one was the one with fighting foodons? Chat, was that Fox? That was the one I watched. I watched the one with Yu-Gi-Oh and fighting foodons and like
People. The dork ass Jake Lang tried to have an
Metabots.
Muslim march in Minneapolis. Got like 10 people. So one of the funniest. So someone asked me who Jake Lang is, and I think he's one of the most interesting
Digimon
Nazis I've ever met. Well, I've never personally met him, but the reason why I think he's one of the most interesting Nazis is because he's Jewish. Like straight up. Like he went to the Wailing Wall, like wore
shit.
like tefillin rocking straight.
Oh shit.
Up.
I forgot how complicated this guy's backstory is. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, Chad, this guy wants to pop off so hard as a far right MAGA groiper Nazi. He wants to be the guy. He wants to be the man. He wants to be the freaking, you know, I don't know. He wants to help like Hitler reincarnate or whatever, right? He wants to gather the DNA of like, you know, 20 world dictators and put them all together in like Hitler's, I don't know, body and resurrect Hitler or something, right? But there's one problem, okay? There's one thing that the Führer might not be happy about if he were to know that, yeah, this guy is, you know, by the Nazi definition of things at least, Jewish, right? I don't know if he identifies that way anymore, but yeah, you know, he's got some, you know, pictures of himself going to Israel, kissing the Wailing Wall. He's got a bar mitzvah. He's like 19 at the time. I don't know why. Did people get bar mitzvahed at 19? Is that a thing? For me, it was WB Kids, Batman, which one was Batman TAS, Tiny Toons, Animaniacs? Oh, wait, that's the one with the good feathers. I love that one because I have these crazy pigeons that live on my porch, and I always like to joke that they're the good feathers.
Like following the
He can make the white Powerpuff Girls, yeah, like out of White Monster, probably.
Torah Judaism, right? And
oh, the animated series. Oh wait, that's a classic Batman one, right? That's the one with like Harley Quinn when she's like, oh, Mr. J. Like, right? Yeah, no, that's classic. Oh, and Mark Hamill as the Joker.
And for some weird reason, like he just no. This is more than Stephen Miller. Like as far as I know, Stephen Miller doesn't hide that he's Jewish, right? Stephen Miller is a Nazi. He's also Jewish, but he doesn't hide that he's Jewish. But Jake Lang did. Okay? For the longest time, it was.
But yeah, there it is. That's Jake Lang's problem, right? His problem, he wants to pop off with the Nazis and the Groypers and all the, you know, weird racists and white nationalists. Problem is, dude is Jewish, right? It's a little inconvenient you know, fact that keeps on catching up with him, right? That makes it hard for him to really get the traction that he wants in the world of the anti-Semites, right? He's got to convince them that he actually hates Jews more than any of them. And this is the phenomenon, chat. If you like, how many people have heard me explain Wang half before? All right, it's a phenomenon within the Groypers specifically that they call Wang half. Wang half. I will not repeat the entirety of the acronym, but it is white ass and then the N-word, going hard as fuck. And if that's confusing for you, let me explain it. What it means is that they admire a like a non-white white person, if that makes sense, right? Somebody that's not white, but they're very down for the white nationalist cause, right? And that's what they call, you know, going hard as fuck. So in other words, chat, if you have a problem like that, you want to be a Groyper, you want to be a Nazi, problem is you're not the right race, or you're not the right background, right? You can make up for your racial handicap by going hard as fuck. In other words, by being more racist, more anti-Semitic than the rest of them. And so that's the conundrum that this fellow Jake Lang has gotten himself into, right? He's got to prove he's got to earn his stripes, right? He's got to show how anti-Semitic he can be, and he does.
Strange because like I think he was like a straight up like, you know, religious Jewish guy, and then I don't know if he did like the Jews for Jesus conversion or something.
Is that shit even real? Jews for Jesus, right? Chat is like there's like another name for this too, but the idea is that it's like this organization of Christians that basically goes around and tries to get Jews to be like, but actually Jesus was the Messiah, right? Like they want like, you know, to LARP as the fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies as they do, right? They want to have Jewish people to say that I've seen the light of Jesus as well. I didn't think he was the Messiah at first because I was raised Jewish, but then I became a Jew for Jesus. I don't know if any of them are actually real though. Like I know a lot of the quote unquote Jews for Jesus are just Christians that are like, well, yeah, you know, because as a Christian, I follow all the Bible and my religion is the continuation of they're like basically just straight up trying to appropriate Judaism. It's really ugly. It's somehow more anti-Semitic than most shit, right? If that is Messianic Jews, that's the other name for it. I got, well, I mean, I don't know, you could be Messianic in that you believe in somebody else as the Messiah, right? Or that you believe the Messiah is you know, coming within a certain time frame, right? They'd deport Jesus themselves if he came back. Oh yeah, no, Jesus is not getting by that. You know, Jesus is getting asked, you know, are you a citizen? Where is your accent from? Right, Jesus is getting the 3rd degree from ICE, 100%. Ethan Klein quoting idealizing Destiny and Sam Hyde as heroes. Wait,
I don't know how sincere that conversion was, right? But the reason why I find him to be very strange is because once they outed him, right? Once they were like, wait a minute, we're all Nazis, but you're Jewish. What the fuck is going on? He started doing like super anti-Semitic stuff as well. Like he was doing Islamophobia to the max. Like, oh, you know, we're a Christian nation. We love Christ, all this stuff. So then other people would like bring banners of him like kissing the Wailing Wall and you know, wearing the tefillin to protest, to be like,
oh, okay, so that's also like a form. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds familiar. But yeah, specifically like the Jews for Jesus, I think it's been around since like the 70s, and it was like, you know, Christians that would call themselves Jewish and try to convert Jewish people to Christianity, because like they know that that's not real. For them to say they're Jews for Jesus, that's not. They know they were raised Christian. Right, and for them to they really have this thing of like wanting to convert you know, actual Jewish people to their Judaism with Jesus or whatever the fuck they are calling it.
hey, like this guy is literally not a real Nazi. And it was like both the Nazis that were shitting on him for being Jewish, but then it was also the counter protesters as well that were shitting on him to like get the other Nazis to realize he's Jewish. It was just a very fascinating story. So once that happened, he started doing extra insane stuff that's anti-Semitic as well, where he would like chuck pennies at like Jewish people, things like that. So I don't.
There it is, chat. That is the phenomenon in you know, that's the definition, right? You're not white enough for the Groypers, then you just got to go harder. You got to be more racist.
I don't even know where he's at. I don't know what happened to him, but he's definitely a very mentally unwell guy. But apparently they beat his ass up today. That's what people are saying. Yeah, he was trying to do a protest. He was trying to do like a pro-Nazi protest, and a lot of you guys might be thinking, oh, well, why is there only 10 people? And the reason for why there's only 10 people is because everybody would attend these sorts of protests is already being paid by the federal government directly because they're in ICE now. So that's the reason why these protests get no motion any longer, because they're already too busy doing the exact same thing, except being paid for by the federal government. We would all love to join them, but we know that risking our jobs/lives is not worth it. Your brain rot libs are not worth our time. We just show up to the polls. God bless America and God bless Donald Trump. Dork ass alert. That dork ass Jake Lang tried to have an anti-Muslim march in Minneapolis. It got like 10 people in Lamau. Yeah, because like, I think at this stage, what? The New York Times describes him as a conservative influencer. I really think it's a disservice that the New York Times has not updated the way to describe people. Like, their style guide is so busted. Like, even if you're like a Maoist third worldist, they will just say, this guy is a liberal. He is very liberal. It's just like, and if you're like a straightforward neo-Nazi, they say conservative influencer, right-wing activist. Like, you need to add more terms to your lexicon, okay? You cannot just say people are either very liberal or a conservative activist. It doesn't make any sense. ICE is now in Southwest Michigan and they're getting closer to Northwest Ohio. Please let chatters know. Literally the propaganda Times, not the New York Times. Everything is so awful now. I know. This is what happened 1 minute before you clicked on the stream. Jake Lang flees, able to get into a car away from the crowd, bleeding from being attacked by a large crowd in Minneapolis today. I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my head. I can't believe that this happened. This is devastating. I can't believe they beat his Nazi ass. That's so up. By the way, before people say, you guys call everybody Nazis, like, these are the types of dudes who call themselves Nazis. I just don't understand why, if you're gonna be a Nazi agitator, why you wouldn't just become an ICE agent like all the rest of the Nazi agitators that straight up were like, yeah, let's just become ICE agents, you know? Let's get paid by the government, $50,000 signing bonus, as long as you stay committed for like the first 3 years. As long as you stay committed to the job and brutalize people for the first 3 years, like, you're fine. You're going to get that signing bonus and you don't have to pay it back. Or 5 years, right?
This is the second Jake Lang protest you've watched. I swear he's got a humiliation fetish. It's just from Infallible Foul. Was the first one something other than... I'm trying to remember. I guess Hasan will go over some of the protests that he's been at, but... So look, I feel like if this happened in 2020, I don't think the protest would be so strong, would be so small. I think there's something about 2020 where, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be that big either. And when Minnesota lit up from protests in 2020, then the Proud Boys and the other, you know, they probably stayed mostly out of the area, right? But they, you know, they do kind of like get together and make incursions or try to catch somebody out, try to catch somebody going away from a protest, right? They you know, they are active. I just think it feels like for some reason they're a lot less active now. I mean, you'll definitely see people cheering the shit on Twitter. Obviously, Asmongold's community is going to say yeah based when they see ICE agents brutalizing somebody. But I don't know. They're all working for ICE now, says Shower Chat. That might be it. That might be the answer. I mean, who is working for ICE, right? Who are the 3,000 unlucky individuals they got to go up here? There's been reports from inside of ICE that say that morale is incredibly low, and that the last place anyone in ICE, they tried to get volunteers for Minnesota, and nobody wanted to come. So they ended up just having to send the new recruits, right? That is the story. He's an IRL lolcow. I mean, it sounds like it, right? He looks like an off-brand Charlie Kirk. Let's get a look at him. I don't know that much about this guy. I don't remember what he did in Gen 6, and I haven't really, I don't know. I guess the name was, the name is not familiar to me.
Not 3 years. Not to say that you should do that. Obviously, you shouldn't. I think it's pathetic. You know, I'd rather sell crack than join ICE if I was really desperate, you know? But yeah, I think that's how dishonorable being an ICE agent is, that crack dealers have more honor.
Wait, the previous one? Oh, wait, he was in that one where somebody was dressed as Biden? I mean, Hasan, I'm pretty sure Hasan will show... This is the reason I'm showing you the long version and dipping into the goddamn, you know, bot channel, which, you know, I always try to avoid. if possible, is that like there's a lot of little extra stuff that Hasan throws in here that I actually appreciate, right? Like the costumes and shit. They had like somebody dressed as Biden and somebody, I don't know.
That's how I feel.
They are trying to make hay. This guy is particularly like trying to make hay out of the anti-Israel, the popularity of being anti-Israel for the right, specifically like for like attacking the Joe Biden costumed guy as being supportive of Israel, right?
30K a year job, they're doing it for nothing. Yeah, no, straight up. Maybe people should join ICE and just be incompetent. They already are incompetent.
No, bad idea, bad idea. Don't, no, nobody do this. Nobody do this. This would never work. This would be a bad thing. If you got ever found out about this too, like they would probably try to throw you up there for like, I don't know, a terrorism or conspiracy or some bullshit. Like you would be on, you would be indicted. I don't know if you'd be, I don't know if you'd actually get convicted, but,
oh, they should.
like, it sounds like a good idea, right? Of just, yeah, people sign up for ICE and then just like, be like, what? I don't understand. Am I supposed to walk forward? I don't get it. I don't get, wait, what? Arrest this guy? I don't get it. Just be like,
Shouldn't join ICE because they already are.
you sign a 5 to 6 year contract? Damn. Okay, that's how they prevent that. They own your soul. Does that mean Bovino gets to like
Competent, and guess what? Their incompetence is causing death.
do you have to be initiated by Bovino? Does he do the initiation himself?
There was literally one counter protest at the march I attended today. It's pathetic how weak these are. 50K signing bonus to become a Nazi, but it's the illegals making shit expensive. Remember that? Yeah, they're making like 40
shit.
grand a year.
I hate that shit. I hate that so much, right? You hear this kind of rhetoric when it comes to student loans, right? Every time in chat, if you got student loans, right, and you were worried about wage garnishment this month, I got good news for you. I got a little bit of good news for you student loan people, right? I haven't had much, it's scary, it's depressing, right? Shit didn't get taken care of when it should have gotten taken care of, but yeah, they have canceled the wage garnishment for this month. They said that they're going to try to reformulate the income driven repayment and a few of the other things, and then when that's done, they'll start garnishing wages supposedly. I kind of think they might be, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but right, they might be avoiding things that would make Trump's election, that make the midterms worse for Trump, right? That's a possibility. But anyway, that's a little silver lining for y'all out there, repaying student loans or defaulted on your student loans. That any garnishment that would have happened this month is going to be at least deferred. But if you're ICE member, you get it all paid for apparently. But they're always like, so what I was saying is whenever I look at any student loan related news, there's a whole bunch of people there that are like, good, you should garnish more of their wages. You should like literally starve them to death. You should sell their fucking bodies to science. Like if they owe money, it's like there's a fucking heartless shit out there. And it's always the same reason of like, it's too expensive, like, or they don't want somebody else to get something for free. Or I went to trade school. And that was smart. People said you got to go to actual college, but I went to trade school. It's terrible. I don't know how much of it's botted or what, but yeah, they'll literally make that the argument that they'll use a lot is that it's too expensive. And it's like, what do you think having like expanding ICE is? What do you think this nationwide crackdown? Hey, what do you think that having like the military in cities that don't need the military in it to like do fucking theater and pick up the trash? What do you think that? Do you think that money costs? Do you think that costs the money too? They never apply the test of like that is too expensive to any of the stupid shit that Trump does. It's only ever applied to something that might change people's lives or change the economy. Which honestly, forgiving student loans would be like a shot of adrenaline. Would be a B12 shot in the arm of the economy. But we can't have nice things here, apparently. I don't know, chat.
year. They're not making a lot of money. They're making around 40 grand a year.
The 30K signing bonus? I thought it was 50K. Is it getting lower?
Oh my God, look at that. LRAD, decked out the wazoo, Minneapolis Police
Yeah,
Department.
it's an LRAD because it's not as powerful as the Havana Syndrome machine, right? It's the LRAD. It's the weaker version thereof.
Man, God damn it, dude. It's so awesome that our law enforcement have this level.
The one that gives you Havana Syndrome is called the WRAD.
Funding, dude. Jesus Christ, dude. He's got a. I mean, what purpose does this serve? What's an LRAD? Long range acoustic device. First used on protesters in Iraq for crowd control in Iraq. Now utilized by every police precinct in the United States of America. Is this a real SWAT car? Oh, it is. It's Minneapolis SWAT. Yeah. Why is the SWAT team here? You know? Oh, they're issuing a dispersal order.
Andrew? Hey, buddy. Good. How you doing?
$10 says most guys won't even get the bonus. Listen, I think they'll get the bonus probably because Trump does love to waste money. But I'm less certain about the student loan forgiveness. I bet the student loan shit is like a bunch of hoops that they have to jump through, and then they get like a small amount forgiven.
Super chatted $5. Oopsies, a little birdie fell out of my pocketbook.
Well, thank you, Ozymandias, and thank you to your birdie that fell out of your pocketbook as well. And that gets us to 3 out of 10. We're 7 super chats away from butterfly status, and we are 50 points away from getting some bonus content today. So we'll see. We'll fuck around and we'll find out in a good way, while Jake Lang fucks around and finds out in the other direction.
I know, man. What up, Chris? I know, right? He didn't get what he wanted, and well, he didn't get the support, but you got a response.
How many people do you think you have like that?
Not even, maybe 5. Maybe 5. 5 is like a high number. He had his like one little
Yeah,
guy.
I used to use the LRADs as a perfect example of the Imperial Boomerang. Like first they used the weapons over there on victims of colonialism, victims of imperialism. Then they use it here on the home front. You know, it's just how it works. This is how it works, and this is how it's always worked. It's such a perfect example of this, you know? ICE detained a U.S. citizen because of his accent. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not sure if you mentioned it yet, but the temperatures here in Minneapolis are going to be sub-zero here for over like a week. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, chat. It's not going good for ICE, is it? It's not going good. Can we be real here for a second? It is not going good for ICE. Sub-zero temperatures, right? And it's already like they're having so much trouble with that ice, right? They got the ice, they got everybody saying fuck you wherever they go. They got the constant whistles, like these ICE agents, right? Oh, and on top of that, chat, when they try to go to sleep at a hotel, right? People show up at the hotel and decide to play a little Dixieland outside, right? So I shouldn't say Dixieland, the form of jazz, chat, not the Confederate, the song associated with the Confederacy. But yeah, Omega Star with the 5 gifted community subs here. Mad Huskies, you just got jellyfished. Sorta something. You just got sorta jellyfished, right? Forest Fox 5, Forest Fox jellyfished, right? Schwinley Baggins, how about jellyfish Baggins, right? Baja Bisexual Blast, how about Baja Bisexual Jellyfish? That's right, you just got jellyfished. And that's a good thing. I think that's why they want to bring the guardsmen from Alaska. Wait, Trump does? I've heard something about them. Trump's got like a 1,500 active military personnel on hold, but I think he'd have to use the Insurrection Act in order to use those guys. But yeah, thank you, Omega Star.
I know that because I'm supposed to be going to Minneapolis potentially. Okay. and I have to get prepared for it. It's going to be devastating. The cold is
any Minnesotans in chat, anybody from a similar area that gets cold like that, what do you do? Like, I mean, for what he's talking about for the temperatures, right? Layers, and yeah, I think he's talking about getting like long johns or something, or what do you call those? Like the underwear the special underwear that keeps you warm. But what do you do as far as slipping, right? Is there a trick is there some kind of shoe that you can wear that doesn't slip as much? Because I mean, I don't know if I grew up, fairly far north, right? We had cold winters and ice and shit, but yeah, I don't remember any way to like. I just try to not walk if ice is like frozen over. There's not much you can do other than try to avoid it. Try to walk in the snow instead if you can.
going to be
But sometimes the snow is just snow covered. It's just ice covered with snow. So sometimes you end up slipping anyway. It can be really hard to traverse the tundra of Minnesota.
devastating. -20 is so crazy. Jesus Christ, my ass is going to freeze. I have to get like, I don't own any like thermal gear, so I have to get like thermal underwear and also, all this other shit. Yes, I'll be going to Somaliopolis, Winneapolis. You already know. The cold builds character. You will be okay. I know. Anyway, this is Jake Lang.
Will be burning Qurans, standing up against the Somali.
So that's what he wanted to do. Yeah, no, this guy's definitely a provocateur. Like he's provoking some kind of reaction. I guess he wanted what? If you burn Qurans, you think Somalis are going to come after you? Is that what his calculation was? He wants like he doesn't want offals coming out to protest him, right? He doesn't want what was it? Affluent white. Wait, what is it again? Affluent white. What's the F in falafel? And I keep wanting to call him falafels because I love falafel. Affluent white. Something urban. Fuck, I forgot it already. Oh, here it is. Affluent white female urban liberal. There it is. Yeah, he doesn't want the awfuls, right? He doesn't want the awfuls to protest him. He wants Somalis to come after him. So I'm in danger from the evil Somali. They're very violent.
Invasion of Minneapolis, the immediate deportation.
Once again, Twitter is not real life. This dipshit gets 7,000 likes on Twitter, but in the real world, he got 7 people to attend this Quran burning protest. Okay, and as a counter to this dipshit's pro-Nazi protest, guess what happened? Thousands of people came out and told him, shut the fuck up. So I need you to understand that. I need you to understand that these guys do not have motion. They do not have motion. And that's precisely the reason why the government has to step in, okay? The government has motion. It's the goddamn government, right? The government has motion. It's the goddamn government. But these guys don't. The government has to fund ICE by $75 billion. Shouts out to the Democrats.
Did anyone see my chat? I see it.
Also paying for it. Very cool. Or already paid for it. But the people don't like it. They don't like it at all. Twitter likes are nothing. Okay? They're botted into oblivion. They're boosted.
People on the ground are claiming the use of hexachloroethane gas now. Just heard about that today. Still waiting on news sources to confirm that. Yeah, they have been seen doing some illegal chokeholds, right? So as far as violating established policy and procedure, they're definitely on that already. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, everybody just flip your chat into live chat over there's like, what is it's top chat versus live chat or something, right? Or top chat versus all chat, right? If you flip it into all chat on YouTube, then you'll see everybody who's chatting, and we won't end up with chatters being like, why is nobody responding? I don't know. Like we won't be the chats will not be hidden. Is what I'm trying to say.
Into oblivion. All of the stuff that you see on the
Hopefully.
internet from the sweatiest losers that make you go, who could possibly agree with this worldview? When you see, and it makes you go, huh? Do these guys actually believe this? Like, they're saying some heinous shit. Just remember, most likely, the average person is repulsed by that sort of behavior, okay? You have to remember that. You have to remember that. It's that simple. But the real problem is the government. The real battle here is the actual government. That's what's so frustrating about this process. It's not like they don't have the popular mandate. They try to make it seem like they have a
50 votes. Coffeezilla in first place. Anna Kasparian apologizes in second place. Hasan finds ICE agent as Hasanabi had ICE agent in his chat in third place. And Pisco debates Chud Logic on the subject of ICE in fourth place. Get your votes in if you haven't already. Make sure to like the stream while you're there too, because that helps me out a lot.
popular mandate by flooding the media.
I think it defaults to top chat, but there's some weird criteria by which YouTube like doesn't show certain chats in top chat. I don't know what the criteria is, but I know that sometimes you'll miss what people are saying if you're in top chat rather than all chat or live chat, like Magentic is saying.
With pro-regime propaganda, and they're flooding the media with pro-regime propaganda. They're also flooding they're flooding independent media with pro-regime propaganda. Asmongold is a great example of this. Okay. Yes, Jake Lang, this is what happened when Jake Lang actually went and tried to do a pro-Nazi rally. As a Nazi, as an out and about Nazi, he tried to do a pro-Nazi rally. Well, this is how Minneapolis welcomed him.
Oh my God.
Just in, anti-Islam protest organizer Jake Lang just got dragged into a crowd and assaulted multiple times. Police are doing absolutely nothing. It's total anarchy.
That's not a good spot for him to be.
Minneapolis police are standing down because corrupt Democrats refuse to protect conservatives. The feds are needed. Also, they're saying like he got his ass beat, he got assaulted, but like, think about it this much. This entire crowd, Jake Lang is out there to be like,
Chat, they had him, right? That's the kind of crowd that somebody could get a crush injury, like just from the crowd, even if the crowd's not like hostile towards you, right? If that kind of crowd, right, that thick of a crowd, that dense of a crowd, you know, people can get hurt just from you know, being pushed into a too small of a place, right? And so he came out of that, like, you know, literally standing room only crowd, with just minor injuries. I think they were pretty, you know, I don't think they went too hard on him.
Jake Lang is out there to agitate. He's out there to protest. And the fact that he was in such a ginormous crowd and he survived, yeah, he got shoved a little bit. Maybe he fell. Maybe he tripped and fell. But the fact that he survived this situation implies that, you know, maybe they are actually a fairly peaceful crowd, okay? I'm just saying. You go into someone else's backyard and you tell people in that, and you try to specifically, aggressively posture, try to make them feel not welcome in their own.
Yeah, I mean, specifically, I think that whole Quran thing, because I was kind of wondering about that. It seemed kind of random. You know, people are talking about ICE, immigration, etc. He busts out the Quran to burn. But I think what he's trying to do is literally try to attract, you know, attention from Somalis, and then, you know, escalate the situation until it turns violent against him, and then claim victim. I'm guessing that's what he's doing. Unfortunately for him, there's a lot of people that, you know, will hear about hey, this guy's doing a pro-ICE rally, this guy's doing a anti-Somali rally, or however you fucking characterize it, right? You know, there's definitely people out and about that are going to be interested in this, and it looks like you got more than he bargained for.
Home, people are going to want to clean that up. You're going to be a piece of shit. You're going to get picked up. He came out to Somaliapolis, baby. Murderapolis. Hey, fam. You did not check in. You did not check in with Abdul at Murderapolis. This is what happens, bro. This is what happens. This is what happens when you refuse to twerk in Murderapolis. This land was promised to them 3,000 years ago, buddy. Buddy. This land was promised to the Somalis 3,000 years ago. Get the fuck out of here. It's their ancestral home. It is pretty crazy, though, that like only 7 people showed up, and this dickhead has the audacity, nay, the caucasity to assume that he can still go through with this. You know what I mean? What is this? Same right wing tweeted this. Breaking: Jake Land's head is bleeding after violent leftists ambushed him during the anti-Islam Minneapolis protest. Blood is literally dripping down his head. F you, Nazi. Police are doing nothing. They're nowhere to be seen. Democrat leadership purposely let this happen. They're now marching down the sidewalk. I just don't. POTUS, send in the military. Dude, it's so funny. They're like, you have to send in the troops. You have to send in the troops for if a neo-Nazi agitator goes out there to fuck shit up, you literally have to militarize the troops and you have to go and kill them. Okay, you have to go and kill all of the local.
They wanted to do Saving Private Ryan, right?
People. Like, what are we doing here? You can't just be like, hey, I don't want you in my fucking neighborhood. You're a goddamn Nazi. Like, we can't do that anymore. I thought this was America, damn it. Anyway, I think they've like surrounded his hotel, it seems, but now the cops are defending the hotel. Great use of taxpaying funds, in my opinion. He is not a peaceful protester, by the way. He's a professional neo-Nazi agitator. I gotta pee real quick. Hold on.
Bearcat has turned around up the street. You do have a Bearcat up. It's been a while since I've got caught in the direction of the sound cannon.
Are they actually protesting now? Yeah, the protests are still going on. I mean, this really, shooting somebody in the face is one way to get people's attention, right? Some of the, with all the stuff going on in the Trump administration, it's hard to, kind of keep focused on any one thing. But yeah, no, this is definitely, at least in Minnesota, gotten people's attention. From what I understand, I'm not in the United States anymore, but from what I've understood across the country as well, these protests have gone off. Now, sometimes you will see channels like replaying, old stuff, or replaying like what happened that day. And you'll get a feed that like will claim it's live, but it's not really live. Generally, these protests are, but yeah, this is an incident though that happened on Saturday. So we are actually watching, slightly older footage, I guess, a few days old. But just particularly to pick up on this whole Jake Lang situation, this counter protester, this pro-ICE Nazi guy that came out there to try to make his stand, and he said, "Who's coming with me?" He said, "Who's coming with me?" Right? And unfortunately, the answer in the background was like crickets. It was like there's like 10 people max that he brought out. So yeah, when you bring 10 people to burn Qurans, I guess the idea was like he was trying to antagonize the Somali community. Obviously, I don't think anybody from that community is taking the bait on his Quran burning, but he does have like, I don't know, 1,000 or more. How many did they say people that showed up for the counter protest? Yeah, it's like 10 versus I don't know, a great number, but let's see what happens.
That's painful.
This is a lawful order to clear the area, so ground control munitions may be used against you. This is a lawful order to clear the area. If you fail to do so, it may be used against you.
Oh, good. Good thing we bought a mask today.
The area, 7th Street South and 7th Street South. If you fail to do so, ground control munitions may be used against you.
Yeah, as far as my own coverage of the protests, I'm generally streaming so late. I mean, sometimes there are protests that go into the night, right? The only way I would be covering protests live would be if they're still going on at this is 1 a.m. Pacific time, 4 a.m. Jesus Christ, it's 4 a.m. Eastern time.
Amazing how they don't have the police resources to stop ICE, but plenty to protect Nazis. Yeah, dude. Well, because they agree with them, right? Remember, the FOP said, FOP said.
I'm sorry, what was that a picture of, like, it looked like, I don't think that was a picture of Nazis. I think that was a picture of,
Amazing how they don't have the police resources to stop ICE, but plenty to protect Nazis.
they look like, aren't they prisoners? I can't tell, chat. It feels like we're looking at a lot of prisoners there. Are the Nazis standing with them, or are those like capos, or I don't even know. I don't even know. This is the bot channel, right? And I'm not sure what their procedure is for, you know, getting out Hasan videos, but I think that they use like a lot of AI editing tools, and it seems like there's some kind of tool that will be like, you know, it'll hone in on like one word that the person says, and then like just randomly bring up the image that it finds on Google associated with Nazis, and in this case maybe you know, prisoners of the camps rather.
Yeah, dude. Well, because they agree with them, right? Remember, the FOP said, FOP said, we stand in solidarity with our ICE brothers, you know? Damn, Nazis sure do love the Cambria. That's where Richard Spencer stayed when he got his shit rocked in Philly a few years ago, lol. Is that the hodl? That Minneapolis is the vanguard of the revolution? I mean, yeah, Minneapolis has always had a pretty, you know, no-nonsense attitude about this sort of stuff, so... Is Jake Lang MAGA or just a groiper? I think he's both MAGA and a groiper, but nowadays, what's the difference, right? I mean, what's really the difference between MAGA and a groiper, right?
Just for perspective, chat, in 1984, I think it's 1984, if you looked at an electoral map of the country, you'd only see one state that went blue. That was Minnesota. Minnesota in 1984 is the only state that did not vote to re-elect Ronald fucking Reagan.
Israel? Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's that big of a... I don't think that's that large of a problem, if we're being real, for a lot of the groipers, okay? Just got here. What's going on? Yeah, Nick is defending Jeffrey Epstein's pedophilia and stuff, so... He's so actively trying to be the regime guy that he's already dropped the...
Interactive says, I wonder if it's even a real photo, if it's AI involved. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
He's going to drop it eventually. Like I said, he's going to try to become like a normal household fixture in the MAGA movement because he's a grifter. This is why the cockroach is afraid to leave his zip code. I mean, he just doesn't care about any of this stuff. Let's be real. Jake Lang left bloodied and beaten as he's escorted through the mob. I'm not a fan of this guy's act, but I see no reason to not forcibly remove all these...
Can you imagine Asmongold showing up for a protest? Oh, Mondale was from Minnesota. Okay, that's another complicating factor. But in general, like, Minnesota is you know, one of the, you know, fairly consistently, like, left-leaning states in modern history, at least since the party switcheroo.
People from society, they're hardly human savages. Wait, what? Oh, he's saying like all of these other people that that were escorting him need to be forcibly removed from society. Got it. Okay. That's cool.
It looks like, it kind of looks like he got snowballed too, chat. What do you think? Did he get hit with some snowballs?
Definitely. He's like, yeah, I don't really like this Nazi, but I totally agree with him that we should violently kill every single person that doesn't like Nazis in their neighborhood, you know? Okay, so what's the difference between you and him then? Even though he's a Nazi, this is not a good look. Are we doing 2016 again? Is that what's happening? Are we doing discourse on this? Are we doing 2016 discourse?
Like,
Brother,
look, it is important to understand what a provocateur wants you to do and to like not play into their hands. That being said, if you don't want to constantly deal with this, you need to make sure these motherfuckers feel unwelcome. It's the only way. That's the only way to deal, whether it's Seattle, Portland, or fucking Minneapolis, right? I think they knew. Am I wrong, chat? Was there a lot of I don't think there was nearly as much like I mean there were people that were scared of the protesters, scared of Antifa in the rural cities in Minnesota and North Dakota, famously, like a friend of the VOD, Rex Reviews, Tiberisaurus Rex, um, the gun rant guy or the car rant guy that loves guns. He's the guy that thought that Antifa, what he wish casted Antifa showing up to his small North Dakota town, right, so hard that he got all of his neighbors to show up at a Walmart parking lot that they said they had intelligence that Antifa was going to make a move on the strip mall. Chat, this town has a strip mall, right? You know, like, you know how some towns, like, there's only like one place where there's actual, like, you know, stores and business. I think it's like that, right? Where it's like a Walmart parking lot with like a Chipotle and, you know, just the other things that you'd expect to find in such a place, right? So they all hang out there, Rex with his guns, a bunch of bikers, right? A bus pulls into the parking lot. They start to get animated because they're like, this is going to be the Antifa bus, right? Antifa, I don't know how Antifa travels, but yeah, bus definitely makes sense. They would get a bus, right? Because they believe in public transport. The bus pulls in. It was probably some church, like it was probably like a choir tour or something, or like some church group or something like that, right? Bus pulls in, sees a bunch of armed dudes and a bunch of bikers, and then it just leaves. It decides, you know what? We were wanting some Chipotle, but we don't want Chipotle that bad, right? But anyway, the TLDR is that they have people in small town, you know, nearby Minnesota were convinced that Antifa was going to show up, and they ended up just threatening a bus.
Brother, the government is already doing Nazi shit. Okay, you don't need to also
wait. The blood came from a stick. The stick. He grabbed the stick.
Agitation on top of the Nazi shit that the government is doing. I'm not entertaining this stuff. Okay, let's be real. Let's be fucking real. His entire purpose is to go there. The very fact that he did not get dismembered in that crowd implies that, like, look at how many people are there. Look how many people are there. He could have just as easily fallen. You know what I mean? We don't know what the exact details are. We don't know what the actual, we don't know how he got hit or anything like that. Okay? But the reality of the matter is, if you're going specifically to agitate and there's a crowd that's going to come here, you sound stupid comparing the U.S. government to Nazi Germany. Yes, you're right. It is kind of stupid because we are Nazi Germany with nukes and 800 military bases around the planet. So it's actually far worse than Nazi Germany. It hasn't gotten to that point yet, but it has the capacity to get to that point. And
take it as a sign from God. Don't eat Chipotle. I mean, I have gotten, I like their menu, but I think I have gotten sick from them a few times.
Be far worse than Nazi Germany ever could be.
People always bitch about the slop bowl, but I don't get it. Like, right? What makes it slop? Like the fact that it's in a bowl mixed together, is that what makes it slop? Like, I don't get the distinction. Like, if you're eating, like, is the idea a cheeseburger would be better? A chicken sandwich, something that's like solid together, you know, food that's not like, I don't get it. Where did eating slop from a bowl become like a bad thing?
And on top of that, Nazi Germany at the very least had allied forces that was contesting its power. Pre-nukes, remember, the United States of America, and also the USSR and England and many other countries as well. So Nazi Germany also had like a coalition of the willing that was able to push it back, right? To fight back militarily, as opposed to the United States of America that has nothing, has no contest around the world. Can't you see it as downplaying Nazi Germany? I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying the United States of America is potentially worse than Nazi Germany. Because Nazi Germany did not. Nazi Germany.
There's constantly this obsession that people have of, you know, connecting. Like, if something's really fascist, if something's really authoritarian, if something's over the line, beyond the pale, then it's got to be like you got to connect it to Nazi Germany to prove it. And it's just kind of like, okay, so they do mass deportations. Nazi Germany did mass deportations, but what is the cope? I think the cope was that they're deporting people who are in violation of immigration law, whereas in the case of Nazi Germany, they were, detaining and concentrating you just for being Jewish. So right there's somewhat of a distinction there, right? I mean, anybody that knows that concentration camps where you concentrate people, like what we're using for ICE, eventually tend to turn into death camps, and we can see that starting with a murder, a strangulation murder being reported in one facility, and I'm guessing that's not the only one. There's definitely been a lot of deaths of people, in the hands of ICE. So Alex Jones interviewed him for this. Great. Alex Jones. Yeah, he made himself into a loser by opposing Candace. I guess that's what it is. People don't like him for going after Candace, even though it seems like that should be such low-hanging fruit, right? To say that Candace Owens is full of shit. That should be so fucking easy now, but no. I mean, you could even say it from like a pro-Republican standpoint, right? You could make the argument that somehow she's harming their chances, right? She's making it easier for the Democrats to win the midterms, right? You could make some argument like that. But somehow Alex Jones does not seem to be getting any traction against Candace. I do think that Candace disappointed some people that were in her audience not too long ago, but I think it's more of a case of her not continuing to like dog Erica Kirk and Turning Point USA and kind of, making peace with at least some of the people in Turning Point USA. I think that's why that's why Candace's views have fallen off. I don't think it's because people think that she's gone too far, or she's lying, or she's crazy, or she's full of shit, which it should be.
Did not start with the Holocaust, right? It didn't start with the Holocaust. It was a process that led to the Holocaust, right? The final solution was at the end stage. The United States of America is not at the end stage yet.
But yeah, this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing. Like, when does it get unacceptable? When does it get what does Trump have to do to justify some kind of action? Because and now that shit's getting worse, where you are seeing deaths in these camps, you are seeing murderous intent in the eyes of ICE officials, right? So you say, okay, now we got mass Gestapo in the streets shooting people in the face with like an unlimited mandate, right? According to JD Vance, unlimited mandate for violence and to break any fucking laws that they want because they're beyond reproach. They've got ultimate immunity or unlimited immunity or whatever the fuck he said, right? So then you got that, right? And you should think that that's pretty bad, but you could say, well, listen, like, I granted that's bad, all right, but in Nazi Germany, Hitler also attacked France and Poland. Where's that? Where's that, smart person? That's not happening. So it's not like it's not like Germany. It's not like the Holocaust. It's okay. It's all okay, right? Because we're not at war with two nations yet. But holy shit, chat, how are you gonna wait for us to get there? Like, how many countries has Donald Trump threatened? And then, he's gone in on Iran. He's gone in on Yemen. He's gone in on Venezuela, obviously. He's threatening Cuba currently. He's threatening Greenland. He's threatening Denmark, right? How long are you going to let it go and just say, well, it's not quite to that point yet? And what kind of stupid ass, like, if you don't want to repeat history, if you specifically Nazi Germany, which I would hope would be the one epic of history that we could all agree that we don't want to repeat that. Nobody should want to repeat that. Nobody should want part 2 of that, right? How close are you going to let it get to Nazi Germany before you say, hey, maybe we should do something? Or at least maybe the person saying that this is not okay is not crazy, or they don't have Trump derangement syndrome, or they're not like failing to accept the results of the election. Maybe we could start to say, hey, there's something going on here. This isn't normal. This is, you accept an election results. The candidate puts in their policies. Maybe you don't like those policies, but I mean, this is you would think that by this time we could agree that this is somewhat beyond there, but no, the cope continues. The cope absolutely continues, right? When they're straight up killing people, the cope will be, well, they're not killing all the people. They didn't kill as many as Hitler killed, so what are you worried about? Yeah, who hasn't he threatened at this point? Good question.
I don't like this kind of silly argumentation. Okay, this like Holocaust exceptionalism that is more often than not either used to defend Israel, which is doing its own version of the Holocaust, or in many instances being utilized to stop any sort of comparisons being made when you have a modern fascist movement unfolding in front of our eyes. The entire reason why we learn about the Holocaust is so that we don't actually repeat the mistakes.
If you want to start a genocide, like you got to stop it early, right? People who analyze this says that there are stages of a genocide, right? It doesn't happen, without dehumanization, for instance. So if you catch it in that phase, in the early on phase where nobody's being, whisked away to camps in the middle of the night, then you got a better chance than if you're at the point where you're like, well, they've only killed this many people, and actually Hitler killed a lot more. So, like that, it's kind of too late. Like, it's like a snowball. Once it starts going, it has momentum. And so if you want to stop it from doing like deadly damage from fucking straight up killing people, you got to get on it.
Right. If you constantly go, no, we only learn about the Holocaust to know how bad it was and how it's never going to happen again, obviously, and that I'm going to use it as an example of how things that we're experiencing are not bad at all in comparison to how bad that was, I find that to be a very silly argument. You are, in my opinion, no different than a Holocaust revisionist in that regard. Like you are antithetical to the entire field of study. There is an entire field dedicated to the Holocaust.
The problem isn't really a Trump thing. It's just an America thing. Removing doesn't really fix this. Well, if you're talking about the nascent fascism, that's always, just kind of like the background of like, of the seeds of fascism, you could say, right? That's true. It's you got to do something about that, right? Which might be shifting to a new mode of production to make something like fascism harder to imagine. Just like capitalism has made any world without it harder to imagine than the end of the world for a lot of people, right? Moving forward into a new mode of production would be, the direction that you need to go if you really want to stop this for good. Now, that being said, Shower Chat, that's a long-term project, most likely. And as far as like removing Trump, while it wouldn't fix everything, I'd be willing to give it a try. If somebody wanted to pull a Maduro on Trump and just say, all right, JD Vance administration, we're watching you. You better not fuck up like him. You better not be doing the things that Trump was doing. Also, we need that oil. We need that oil, right? I don't know. I think people would be okay with it. Give that a try. But yeah, realistically speaking, just like I said, you remove Trump from office more likely, with a impeachment or a 25th Amendment situation. You're still going to have JD Vance to deal with. Absolutely. And if you don't, and we just go back to, the shitlibs that got us here in the first place, we're going to find ourselves right back in the same place in not too long. And the Democrats are doing their damn best to convince me that they are next to useless in terms of opposing the Republicans. They are such phenomenal cowards, right? I really question whether they will ever get to the point where they can meaningfully oppose Trump and the Republicans.
Holocaust specifically, dedicated to the rise of fascism specifically, dedicated to genocide. And the whole purpose of that field of study is to ensure that it doesn't happen again, understand how it happened, and then make sure it doesn't happen again. So in the process of it happening again, you have to literally make those comparisons. And if you think that that's not appropriate, then you're silly. But you support China that has nukes and oppress its people way more and harder. That's really funny that you say that.
Oh my God.
The Chinese government support amongst the Chinese population is higher than America's support has ever been for its own government. That's just objective reality. You can talk about famines. You can talk about like historic collectivization efforts and how much pain and struggle that came about that process. And there's truth to that, obviously. But you know, once again,
Did we ever figure out where that acceleration chatter came from? I wish there was, like, on Twitch, there used to be a way of kind of, more or less guessing, if somebody's like an Asmongold fan or a Destiny fan, or like where they came from. I don't know. Like, my best guess is that Empanada stream just ended.
again, this is a faulty comparison because then you have to match that up with the human casualty, the totality of colonial violence, and what Western civilizations did to not only their own populations, but also populations at the global stage in an effort to become the domineering force around the planet. And once again, it's just very difficult for you to make that comparison because you're probably utterly oblivious to it. And
oh yeah, they're asking people to turn in their neighbor, says Magenta. Yeah, they're asking for things. Is there anybody in this neighborhood who you think might be, who you think might be an immigrant? Is there anybody in this neighborhood who has an accent? And in some cases, I've heard they're like offering money. It's more, I think it's more for people that they take in that are, that are taken in for obstructing ICE, right? They're trying to offer money, from what I've heard, for them to like be like, yeah, our network is like these people, like to try to turn in other people. Even the Democratic governor Waltz is a weenie. Yeah, just a bit, right? Now, Hasan wants Waltz to straight up put ICE on the streets, right? To have, ICE on the streets. What am I saying? Waltz wants to put the National Guard, which he has activated now. He has activated the National Guard on the streets, and have them as a deterrent, I guess, to ICE overreach. And ultimately, maybe a layer of protection for the people of Minnesota to continue to be able to express their free speech, despite any sort of crackdown that might come from Trump. But what Waltz hasn't done is put these people on the streets yet. Right? That's what has not happened. And there's some people that think that Waltz has got a no-win situation. Him putting the National Guard on the streets could give Trump the, pretext that he needs to do something like declare the Insurrection Act. But I don't think he really needs much of a pretext. I think with Trump, like, the people that have success against Trump are people that do not back down to him. And it's my concern that there's way too much, backing down in the way that he's being confronted here.
Yeah, that's it. But China is an idiotic comparison to make in this situation, because we're having a conversation about the United States of America. I am not Chinese. I'm an American citizen. I find what this government is doing with my tax dollars to be morally repugnant, to be horrible, to be unacceptable. And I'm going to keep protesting it. You can keep going, but China all over the fucking place, as China dominates the entire fucking planet through trade maxing. And before you know it, you've already become Chinese, and you'll be like, how do we get here? How did I become Chinese?
Do they take orders from Waltz or Trump? Waltz right now, but if Trump were to figure out how to federalize them, they would theoretically take orders from him. The real thing that's going to happen, though, and I think the reason that Hasan wants Waltz to keep on going hard against Donald Trump, like actually putting them out in the street, not just activating them, is because he feels like it's only in, like, when you get, like, so like the reason that they're telling Waltz don't do this, the reason that some people think that Waltz has played it right by not activating them, is because they're worried they don't want it to get to a situation where you've got National Guard steering down, federal law enforcement, right? They don't want a situation where it becomes a constitutional crisis or like a confrontation between two different law enforcements, right? Because as long as there's not law enforcement going after law enforcement, as long as there's not like violence between like different, institutes of law enforcement, you can make an argument that we haven't gotten to that, like, sort of point of no return, right? But on the other hand, you only get a situation where, with this situation, the way that most people are against what Trump is doing, certainly in Minnesota, with ICE shooting people in the face, and mostly, with ICE in terms of these sweeps, in terms of these, giant, deportation / incarceration / anybody that happens to get in ICE's way, they're gonna like beat them and stuff, right? Whatever the fuck ICE is doing here, is not popular, right? And so if you're gonna see something like a soldier refusing illegal orders or refusing to, I don't know, go against their own people, right? You might see it here, especially with the National Guard. Anyway, it's a difficult choice, to be sure.
How did I just start saying ni hao, shisha, lao ban? How did I get here? But you can't just blindly defend China. There's never been a moment where any country, as a matter of fact, countries have good policies and bad policies. Countries have atrocities historically, and it's important to reflect on them. Understand that it's these are issues that must not be repeated, and you only have to. Once again, why are we talking about China? Okay, why the fuck are we talking about China? The reason why we're talking about China is because you don't want to talk about what's going on in your backyard in the United States of America. So you go, China.
Pat, if China was shooting people in the face, what do you think people would say about China? No problem calling that out, at least from a chatter like this, right? No problem. If China's shooting people in the face, they're going to be called an authoritarian. They're going to be called an authoritarian even if they're not. Like they're gonna be called worse than the United States, on the level of like fucking Hitler, for something like a surveillance program, right? That is meant to fight terrorism, which like this is the kind of this is the bread and butter of the United States, right? They're accused of genocide for that. What do you think they're gonna say if China was out there? If some kind of Chinese law enforcement was out there shooting people in the fucking face and like purging an ethnic minority, right? What do you think people would say?
Sometimes you're such a liberal, shut the fuck up. Yeah. We're having a serious conversation about America's fascism that's unfolding.
Yeah, I agree, Directive. We've been in a constitutional crisis since Trump took office.
In front of our eyes. And first you went, well, don't you think Hitler was worse? Don't you think the Holocaust was worse? Yeah, the Holocaust was worse than what we have seen thus far, but it's getting to that point. And the entire reason why we learn about the Holocaust is so that it doesn't get to the point of the Holocaust once again. Little bro trying to run some Epoch Times analysis of America. Yeah. Why can't I just say China over and over again? Wait, he's European? I'm European? Oh my God. Oh God. Okay. Take a second off. Cool off. Take 30 seconds off. Cool off. God damn it. The Euroid brain. Oh, the servile beast that is known as the Euroid.
Yeah, the Dems are just waiting for their turn to work the same donors, right? And you watch for this, right? If there is a fallout, like if the floor drops out of Donald Trump's support, you're gonna see some of these tech bros that pledge their loyalty to Team Trump and MAGA then come along and woo the Democratic politicians, and some of them are already in the tank, like Ro Khanna. Do people know this about Ro Khanna? He's the congressman for Silicon Valley, and for all of the stuff that Ro Khanna does that is good and exceptional, right? The fact that he is absolutely in the pocket of the tech bros should worry us, right?
That comes into the chat of an American.
And he is far from the only one. He's far from the only one.
And talking about American shit to say, actually, sir, what you don't realize is that America is wonderful, is wunderbar, ja, is wunderbar. Please come and take the Greenland und then take the Deutschland. Mein Führer, Mein Orangensaftführer.
My orange juice Führer?
Ich liebe dich, Führer.
I love you, Führer.
Please. Komme. Deutschland heraus, komme. It's now yours, mein Führer. The Amerikanisch Führer, you are the best. Ah, I
I think we've reached the limits of Hasan's German.
love you. Ich
Didn't he live in Germany for a while, or am I mixing him up with his? Was it Jink that lived in Germany?
liebe dich.
Who speaks German really well? I thought it was Hasan.
Oh, I'm European. Oh, Entschuldigung. Oh, I love the Amerikanisch Mager. Oh, it's so good. Please
Wait, what? Entschuldigung, bitte. What is that?
give me more, Zadie. Vater, put the tariff on me, Vater. Mutig. It's so good. Ich möchte Tarif. Ja. Entschuldigung, Vater.
Oh wait.
It's funny, dude. It's awesome. When I see Europeans LARP in the chat as though they're like Ameroid MAGA supporters, it's like, dog, you used to be a country. You used to be a continent that dominated the entire
How did I forget Entschuldigung?
planet. How can you be so servile to perhaps the dumbest version of fascism we've ever seen? Like, no care or consideration for the aesthetics. You know, it's awesome. You fantasize about it being an Amerifat, like an Amerifat fascist. That's you have nothing. You used to have sovereignty.
Well, this is like the
you reigned.
like the bitch you have
were
nothing.
the domineering force around the globe. Oh my God. Also, if you're European and you're worried about China, well, you've already become more Chinese every single day. You're becoming more and more Chinese. So, you know, look what he said, please. What else has he said? Damn, bro.
Yeah. Those are early like words that you learn early on learning German. But I thought that he visited it. He just visited Germany. Maybe I'm thinking of Jink. I think Jink like actually lived in Germany for a while.
Call everyone you disagree with a Nazi.
Oh yeah. Jink likes to go off in German too.
See, damn, bro, calling me a Nazi is such an insult to my ancestors who went to war. Considering that you're European and currently defending the American fascist movement, I suspect that you're actually upset that I'm comparing it to the glories of the Third Reich, right? Like, that's what it is. Because I don't think your ancestors went to war on the right side. Or at least they would be ashamed of you because you're currently defending the wrong side of the same exact ideological battle that's taking place. Given that you shit on China initially, which, you know, had a tremendous amount of human casualties, leading up to World War II and certainly during World War II as they struggled against the Axis, specifically Japan, and they themselves were aligned with the USSR. And considering how much you're defending the modern iteration of the Nazi movement, I assume that your ancestors might have been on the wrong side of that war, baby. Being a European in the Hasan Abi chat feels
Wow, he took so long to say. I think maybe your ancestors actually supported the Germans, actually supported the Axis.
No, not at all.
Your ancestors cucked out to the Axis powers.
Tremendous
That's what he's trying to say.
For the European Hasan Abi heads that have to deal with fucking dumbasses like that one. Because European liberalism is so crazy. Because, like, you have straight up old school fascist movements growing in your own country.
Let's check in with where we're at. We're at 80 out of 100. We're 20 away from bonus content. I have a little bit more than an hour left. I think, yeah, it's 4:40, 4:30 my time. I've got I've got a little bit more than an hour left. What about the butterfly goal? How long does that have left? That's the one I should worry about first, right? A butterfly goal actually ends in 35 minutes, so we're still looking for 7 more super chats of the teal variety or higher. I think that's somewhere around 289 we figured out, which equates to 100 baht, and gets you that teal super chat. If we can put together 7 more, I will put a butterfly in the next 34 minutes 53 seconds. I will put a butterfly in my hair. CoffeeZilla still winning the bonus content, but it looks like Anna Kasparian's got. Ooh, it's gonna be kind of close, chat. Looks like Anna Kasparian's still in the lead, thanks to donos, right? And then Hasan versus Hasan Abi Head, who happens to be an ICE agent, in 3rd place, and then Pisco debating Chud Logic in 4th place. Make sure to vote if you haven't already. 64 of you have. How many likes do we have, chat? Do we have as many likes? You should definitely be hitting that like button as you vote, or after you vote, or before you vote. Any time to hit the like button is a good time to hit the like button. Who is ordering mineral Wasser? Mineral in Germany? Wait, I thought it was really common. I learned that one. Yeah, Mineralwasser. You know the worst German word, at least I learned so far from Duolingo. Yeah, I think it's popular. They also drink, you can get it with, do they have spa over there? Any Germans in chat? Anybody komme aus Deutschland vielleicht? Bitte? Yeah, I think they drink mineral water and then sometimes water with like sparkling water, right? But I can't remember how to say sparkling water in German. I used to know how to say it in French. Avec des bulles. Avec des bulles. I think it's something like that in French. Mit. I don't know how to say bubbles in German. But anyway. Yeah, they drink a lot of funky water over in Germany.
And then you have like a bunch of fucking liberal friends that you have that just like are oblivious to it or hate it, but don't realize like the appropriate measure to fight back against that sort of thing is through an avowed anti-fascist movement, a real, socialist, trade unionist, communist movement that fights back. Historically, that's how it's worked. But because America has dominated the entire continent,
Ryborg, I think it's something like that. At least that's what it was in the Netherlands. It was something like, and Dutch is really similar to Germany sometimes, except for when it's not similar at all.
Be with first the Marshall Plan or then with NATO, they've dominated the planet. They've dominated the continent so fucking hard that like a lot of the Europeans have lost that identity. They've lost their own personal history and how they actually
lost that identity. That identity, Europisch.
Take up arms and struggled against the Nazis and fascist movements. It's such a sad state of affairs. Our liberals are anti-nationalists. But
that's what I was thinking of today, chat. It really does feel like that we're looking at Vichy America. And I'm just wondering, at what point is somebody going to pull up and call themselves Free America? At what point does that happen? At what point do we admit that whatever the fuck this thing is, it's not America? It's not legit. I don't know how far you want to trace it back. Probably the capture of the Supreme Court. Maybe as far back as Money in Politics, but there's nothing fucking legit about this shit. You owe no loyalty. No loyalty to an illegitimate state, okay?
But extremely pro-Western, pro-America, pro-Israel. Exactly. It's kind of sad. And tons of socialist programs they benefit from that they ignore and say privatization, neoliberalism will be better. A German friend of mine had to cut off their brother because he's going full AFD, and their mother is like, why can't you accept they have a different opinion than you?
No, you should be killing them. No, you probably shouldn't kill family members. I don't mean that, chat. I don't mean that. I mean just mean like, like at killing them at oh my god, what's that game called where you make them draw 25? Uno. Yeah, kill them at Uno. That's what I was trying to say. But I mean, if they fight like my family, I mean, they probably will end up killing each other at some point. But seriously, somebody announces like, yeah, I think the new Nazi party, it seems like they have a really good platform. I don't know if that was my family, it would be like a mercy kill. You know what I mean? It would be like, oh, let me put you out of your misery for a family member who has fallen astray. It's like a zombie. When they say they're a Nazi, they might as well be fucking like turning zombie on you. Yeah, kill them in the marketplace of ideas, of course, and in Uno.
An opinion. That's what I mean. That's
killing the relationship. Yeah, like they're dead to you. Exactly. I don't mean actually kill your relatives. That doesn't solve anything, chat. Believe me, I've tried.
Like the liberal mind cannot comprehend that there are certain opinions that are violent, deadly, dangerous. Very strange. I agree, but you really can't be shouting Nazi. You still sound stupid. Brother, I don't think there is anything. I don't think you could sound dumber than you currently do when you, once again, come into my chat as a European and LARP as though you're a fucking Trump defender in the United States of America at a time, especially right now, when Donald Trump has added fresh new tariffs to every single country that wanted to maintain sovereignty, wanted to defend Denmark. Every single country that sent...
He is killing NATO as we speak. He is fucking killing NATO. How the fuck is that supposed to last? How the fuck is anybody want to... Like, he's like, no, seriously, I am Putin. I am Putin, and Greenland is my Ukraine. And, like, you know, let me give you a fucking lecture about why we should really own it. Like, how Leif Erikson was actually an American or some shit. Like, I don't know what the fuck. What kind of Nazi logic he's going to tap, like, Stephen Miller to write at that point? Do you think Stephen Miller's, like, really into Norse shit? Like, I'm just trying to understand Stephen Miller, the Jewish Nazi, right? How he works, what makes him tick, right? I still don't quite understand, right? Does he get all hot and bothered for Viking shit? Does he like, oh yes, the Viking, oh, he's such a strong...
One troop, 2 troops, 10 troops to Greenland is now getting...
But yeah, he's turning America's, like, you know, most, like, you know, steadfast allies into bitter enemies. You have to defend the English speakers in Greenland, true.
Tariffed out the wazoo by Donald Trump because Donald Trump wants Greenland. Yeah, you hate Trump. No, you don't hate Trump, really. If you're considering Trump supporters like this one to be fine, right? And if you're saying you sound stupid comparing the U.S. government to Nazi Germany, then I don't think you hate Trump enough. That's my point. I think he does some bad stuff and some good stuff. Explain one good thing that Donald Trump has done. All right, why am I having a conversation with this guy? All right, let's just get back. This is fucking unproductive. Yeah. This guy looked at the United States forming a fascist movement from one of the 2 major liberal parties in the country, right? The right-wing liberal party turning into a fascist one, an illiberal one. And he said, don't notice that. You're the problem. From a foreigner perspective, a lot of us criticize the current administration, but not the whole U.S., but not U.S. whole system. Yes, because they're wrong. Also, any system that allows one of the 2 major power centers to turn into a Nazi one is already a fundamentally flawed system.
We stop and do a little midwit meme here. Okay, so you know the midwit meme and how it works? There's like somebody on the lower scale of the IQ, the lower, like, you know, slope of the IQ scale, and they think one thing. There's somebody right in the middle, and they think one, they're the midwit, right? And then there's the person in the dark, like, druid outfit or something. That's the you know, high IQ person. All right, so low IQ. Trump is a Russian asset, and maybe from way back, right? He's, what is it, Krasnik? Is that what the codename Krasnik? The idea that he actually worked for the Soviet Union intelligence or some shit like that, right? So that's the low IQ one. The middle IQ one is, no, Trump is independent. He stands up to Putin. And then the high IQ one is actually, it's JD Pondon. Trump is a spy for China, because that is whose interest he seems to be maximizing greatly, right? Every country, like, where is Europe going to run once they finally figure out that Donald Trump is not grandma, he's the wolf, right? Where are they going to run? And the only possible answer, right, is China, unless you want to give Putin, I don't know, Poland, the Baltics, and all of Ukraine, right? And maybe you could get Putin on your side. But realistically, they're going to need a lot of people, a lot of countries are being driven into China's arms right now.
That's it. That's the problem, because it is the system that is broken. And anyone that refuses to address how fundamentally busted this system is only going to, at best, not offer a real stopgap measure against, like, Nazism growing in the country, but instead maybe like put a pause on it or maybe slow it down for like a couple years before it comes back harder as it did after 2020. Joe Biden came in, refused to address any of the economic problems.
All roads lead to China. Yeah, I mean, until we convert them into high-speed rail, and then all high-speed rail leads to China.
And capitulated to right-wing forces, capitulated to right-wing theories and hysteria that was manufactured over and over again. And now look at Donald Trump. He came back in full force.
Wait, he had a secret Chinese bank account? Is this true? I know he's got some kind of like the money from Venezuela that they got from selling the Venezuelan oil. Supposedly they put not in not in the treasury, not in anything to do with the United States. They put it in, what was it, like a Dubai? I think it was like an account in like a private account in Dubai. It kind of looks like where somebody who's looking at potentially leaving the country if something goes wrong. It kind of looks like the sort of place that somebody like that would put money into.
The system is broken is liberalism. The system is working precisely as intended. No, I don't fully agree with that. I think capitalism is working precisely as it intended, but at times when capitalism is failing, right? When there's mass instability, that's how you have to destroy.
Well, yeah. I mean, just like Brandon tried to pass the economy off as just fine because the stock market was just fine, because the GDP was just fine, because all the traditional markers that really do highlight more of how the upper class is doing than how the lower classes, the working class is doing, right? When people wouldn't accept that, yeah, it became clear that they're not gonna put up with this shit anymore.
Liberal order and bring about a fascist order. Capitalism as the economic system is working as intended, but liberalism is failing. Liberalism is a liberal order intended, but the system is broken is liberalism. The system is working precisely as intended. No, I don't fully agree with that. I think capitalism is working precisely as it intended, but at times when capitalism is failing, right? When there's mass instability, that's how you have to destroy the liberal order.
When showing people a low unemployment rate and a high GDP no longer works, right? When people are hurting too bad for you to be able to try to gaslight them into thinking everything's okay
and bring about a fascist order.
Apparently that's when capitalism breaks. In some ways, as far as like the material conditions of the working person, that the new deal as a social contract, as a new form of social contract was supposed to represent, I think capitalism has been failing for a lot longer than that. But yeah, you want to call it failed now, I won't argue with you.
Order. Capitalism as the economic system is working as intended, but liberalism is failing. Liberalism is a defense of capitalism, and fascism is also a defense of capitalism. It's just a more vulgar version of liberalism in its defense of capitalism. Also, when I say liberalism is failing, right? When I say liberalism is failing.
Yeah, liberalism is good cop, conservatism is bad cop, right? It's as simple as that.
I think what a lot of people...
Liberalism at its best is like Keynesianism. Conservatism is austerity.
Don't understand is like, I'm saying liberalism is failing for the average person, right? Let's go watch Asmongold. You are too boring. Brother, I'm gonna be real with you. I think the reason why you're in here instead of over there is because you personally find it to be boring. You find that to be boring. That's why you...
Oh, no, he always blames Biden. That shit won't work eventually. I mean, Trump does. I don't think anybody's even listening to him try to blame Biden. I was just saying that it was during Biden when, this was the first time a quote unquote good economy, because the way that they've always defined the economy is like a combination of the unemployment rate and the GDP, right? So what's the like, essentially, how much economic activity is going on at any given time, and then also how much and the whole thing is that the numbers are kind of game to begin with, right? At any time, the unemployment rate isn't showing you the people who don't have work. It's showing you the people who are still trying to get work, right? It's kind of manipulate the effective unemployment rate is always higher than the actual one. But somehow this was good enough for people for a long time. If a president could show you a low unemployment rate and a high GDP, a good stock market, right? They could basically argue that they did well economically, and I think people stopped believing in that, unfortunately for us, during the Biden administration. Because yeah, like you said, directive that did lend credence to Trump's attacks and give him a vector to it. Now, obviously, Trump has not done shit to the problem with that economy was that things were too expensive. And what has Trump done so far? Made shit more expensive. So yeah, it's not gonna work for Trump either.
Coming here. Like, it's pretty funny. Like, these guys would much rather hate watch and then go, I don't understand. You're using too many words. Instead of just say, yeah, based, please. You're using too many words. Why are you bringing in historical reference points to your analysis? It's much easier if you just say, yeah, based to Jake Lang, or talk about how Jake Lang is actually doing the right thing. Yeah, but here's Jake Lang.
Wait. What is he doing? I'm sorry. What's going on here? Dirty Mike, is this one of your friends? Jake Lang?
Jake Lang was doing politics the right way.
I gotta do politics the right way, right? I gotta move back to America so my rent will be more expensive.
Only here because Asmin isn't live. I just want to know what's going on, but not here for commentary. I'll use my eyes. Here, I'll give it to you guys. Yeah, these guys are just exercising their free speech rights, which should only be afforded to Nazis. Yeah. Or actually, yeah, it's crazy that they call everybody Nazis. I can't believe it. I mean, these liberals, they called everybody Nazis, and look.
Also, Dirty Mike and the Boys. Is that like the name of your blues band? There's got to be some story behind that name. Please do not tell me that you just came into Twitch and you're like, you know what I'll be Dirty Mike and the Boys. We got the boys over here. We got Dirty Mike. We're playing some dirty blues down here at the Blues Emporium. Come down, stop by and see us. I gotta know more about your name. No, Dirty Mike, you came in here. You thought you were gonna make me interesting by the fact that I don't live in the United States currently, but it turns out you're the more interesting subject. I have no knowledge about cinema. Okay, no, please explain. That's true. That's true. I don't have a lot of time to watch movies, Dirty Mike. Do you know why? Because I'm doing things. Are you doing things, or do you have a lot of time to watch movies and get really good at cinema? Get really, or maybe. Hey, look, maybe Dirty Mike and the Boys is making cinema, right? Maybe Dirty Mike and the Boys is a successful director. Is that the case? You get into cinema, you learn a bunch about it, and then you turn around and make a bunch of money off of I don't know, producing movies or something. Is that the story of Dirty Mike and the Boys? I'm sorry. No matter how interesting my life gets, I'm never going to get as interesting as whatever the fuck the explanation behind your name is. Chat, can anybody tell me what cinema masterpiece I'm missing by the fact that I've been going to school and working instead of living some kind of privileged life? That's the weirdest thing, chat. Have we ever gotten anybody that came in here and was like, you're too privileged? That's wild. You're living it up in Thailand. Is that what's going on, Dirty Mike? I'm so rich, I moved to Thailand. Yeah, Twitch, like, I kissed Hasanabi's ass enough that Twitch started just to, like, give me money. They would just shovel money into a bag and have it shipped over to Thailand for me. And so I had so much money, I was like, I don't know what to do. I guess I'll move to a tropical paradise. Imagine living in Thailand and making money on a capitalistic giant. Crying about American capitalism. Wow. Wow. Nobody knows? Does anybody know what the fuck the reference is? It sounds like I just imagined a blues band, right? But they're all white. Okay, so there's a gift of this. What does it mean? What is it from? The Other Guys. Okay, so apparently The Other Guys is like a movie. The Other Guys? Wait, what? 2010. Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. It would have been so good though, Dirty Mike and the Boys, if you had not flamed out, stuck around for a little while, then you could explain to me about Dirty Mike and the Boys, because I told you I knew there was going to be a good story behind this. I knew it was going to be more interesting than me leaving the country for Thailand. Okay, so Dirty Mike says, "How you fellas doing? We about to have us a little screw party here in the red Prius over here. If you want to join us." Alan says, "Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the Boys?" Dirty Mike, "How you know who we are?" Alan Gamble, "You left the note in the car." Terry Hoyts, "Police shithead." Dirty Mike, oh wait, they're getting busted by the cops here. Dirty Mike says, "He's a copper. We gotta go. Come on." This looks like a great movie. Grease it, boys. They're the cops. It's better than cheat. Like, I've only heard cheese it before. That's my best impression of a boomer. Alan Gamble, "You turned my beautiful Prius into a nightmare." Dirty Mike, "We're gonna have sex in your car. It will happen again. God damn. Who's Dirty Mike having sex with, though? Maybe he's called Dirty Mike because he likes to have unprotected sex or something? I don't know, chat. I don't know, but either way, Dirty Mike and the Boys, you can enjoy your unprotected sex in a Prius. I hope you don't catch anything from that. We got to get going because, again, chat, we have like less than an hour.
Look what happened. Now,
no, Ryborg, you just got jellyfish. Look at that.
No one even cares. Now everyone says Sig Heil, and there's no
chat. Is it like the donos? Is the I don't understand how anybody looks at me and says, "This rich, privileged bitch living in the lap of luxury, making all this money on a capitalist platform, and bitching about capitalism. Capitalism looks like it's doing you pretty well. No comment, chick." Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you. Thank you for noticing how well capitalism has treated me. That's the wildest shit ever. I don't know. It's gotta be something about the donos, right? Do people seriously? Anyway, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna concentrate. I'm gonna lock in. Chat, we got a hype train for you to lock in. If you've ever wanted to become a sub, now is the time. You'll get exclusive emojis if you sub in the next 4 minutes and 30 seconds or so. That I think works also if you do a Twitch Prime sub, or if you throw some bits my way or anything like that happens in the next 4 minutes and 20 seconds, you'll climb aboard the hype train and you will receive the hype emojis. So if you want those exclusive hype emojis, you've got like you need to re-up your sub, you've got a Amazon Prime burning a hole in your pocket, or any of those things, now is a great time to do it because you will get rewarded. You will get rewarded for subbing, gifting, or cheering, as the thing says. If you sub or cheer, 100 more bits, that's when you get the emote. Thank you for clarifying that. I didn't know that's how it worked. But apparently that's how it works, chat. Let's see if we can get through the rest of this. And or possibly bonus content. We're, 14 points away from bonus content.
Hour anymore. Yeah, we've really won. We really won. Also, when I say we really won, I'm talking about the Nazis, but don't ever call me one because, yeah.
I just have I've never gotten the thing of like, you're too rich to not like capitalism, chat. That's wild. Have I made it? Am I making it, chat?
That would be bullshit and hysterical. Yeah, this is an Ouroboros. The argument that I'm presenting is
Am I moving on up? And also, how did that chatter know I lived in Thailand? Oh no.
Basically, I don't know. Perfectly neatly designed one where, yeah, I can say that Nazis are, based, but You know, if you call me a Nazi for saying that, well, then you're fucking hysterical liberal that should probably be killed by the federal agents.
Yeah, I definitely got a Lambo here in Thailand. I bought it outright when I got here. When I realized I could afford a Lambo in cash, I immediately bought one.
That we're paying.
Wait, do they drive those? I've seen a few nice cars. They're like there's some rich Thai people out here for sure. There's some rich people who vacation in Thailand and probably like rent probably would rent like something like a Lambo. I haven't seen any Bugattis though. That's what I'm really looking for, chat, is the Bugatti.
70.
I already don't drink poor people water. I'm drinking sparkling water out here in Thailand. We gotta drink the Bugatti. We gotta drive the Bugatti and drink the sparkling water.
$25 billion to at a time when there's unprecedented economic problems, which, by the way, Big Daddy Trump, told me that.
Yeah, good point, Ryborg. I gotta wait on the Bugatti for a few more subs. I think you're right.
Significant.
That's good advice. Can I hire you as my financial advisor since I'm so rich? I'll just move you all out here, chat. Since I'm so rich, I'll move you all out here to Thailand. I'll find out what you're good at, and I'll hire you for that thing. And we'll all be, we'll all be billionaires in bot. A bot is like a 30th of a dollar, so I guess it could happen theoretically.
So you shouldn't worry about that. Also,
what I'm saying is having a billion bot is not as hard as having $1 billion.
Going to Venezuela, and we're going to get their oil, and everyone's going to get a little barrel of oil in their doorstep, and that's going to be based too. Is that good? Did I get you? Thank you for your reasonable bipartisanship. Yeah, it's just common sense. Guys. It's just common sense. It's just common sense. Yeah, it's just common sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's so based. Oh, God. I can't wait to kill feminists. Oh, yeah. All the women that have wronged all of us. Am I right, guys? Come on.
Okay, so chat, if we all had 33,333,333 dollars and 33 cents, then we'd all be billionaires in bot. We'd be botchionaires. Right? It's a 30th of a dollar, so there's 333 million dollars and some change in every billion bot.
These white feminist women. Oh, yeah, we should kill more of them. Yeah, the government should do more of the death and destruction. It's so based.
Hype train coming in level 1 at 30%.
Can't relate to you. Your room is so clean. Yeah, guys. Yeah. I don't take a shower, so you guys are stupid enough to think I'm a common man, even though I'm a multimillionaire that owns a talent agency.
What if we used our bot to buy trees that made money, like money trees, and then we could be botanists? Ooh, that's a rough one.
Yeah, but because I don't shower and I live in a moldy house, you think, I haven't lost touch with the everyday guy, even though I quite literally am the most out of touch definitionally because I never go outside. Yeah, I own a company, multiple companies, as a matter of fact. Yeah, and I'm a
Is our bro still in chat?
Multi-millionaire, one of the wealthiest content creators on the platform, but I keep talking about how all these other content creators.
Wait, is he say? Yeah. Asmongold owns a talent agency. We're gonna get into that tomorrow, right? What is it called? It's called like Mystery. No, not Mystery Inc. What's it called? It's called something with a mystic. Mythic. Yeah, Mythic Talent. It's called Mythic Talent. And it's run by Asmongold, and they had a little contest to try to do it sounded like almost a reality show where you go, you get to, you apply for the contest, and you get to hang out with your favorite streamer. You get partnered up with your favorite streamer. You and Asmongold, if Asmongold is your favorite streamer, will engage in all kinds of little mini games to decide if, who wins the $20 million, right? Will it be you and Asmongold, or will it be somebody else an extra Emily. But yeah, once the DGGer of the year, the mod of Livestream Fails himself, Stale 2000, aka Tarot Card, aka I'm sure some other name that I can't remember. You know, after he tried to advertise on LSF that this was going on, he was summarily dismissed, unfairly dismissed, and you know, he's made a video to tell us all about how unfair that is. And now he's, I think, beefing with Hasan. I think he's put together some weird subreddit where he's going to try to take over Reddit. But right now they seem to be just like seeding all their subreddits with Hasan shocks his dog content. Asman, I once taught a rat to tell the time. Now I will teach you how to be a streamer star. Yeah, he should have been in Streamer University with Kai. I mean, if only Kai, you know, gave a fuck about a loser like Asmongold, but
yeah, they're out of touch.
He owns it. Does he own it? I thought, is he just one of the creators? I don't know. I thought he owned it. But anyway, we're gonna get into that tomorrow. Make sure to be here for tomorrow. All right. This is funny. You know, material that we're covering today with this. You know, everybody's favorite Nazi having a warm welcome from Minnesotans in Minneapolis, really getting a heaping helping of that hot dish and that Minnesota nice from the good people of Minnesota when he showed up to Minneapolis to try to burn Qurans and support ICE, right? People weren't fans, let's just say.
They're out of touch billionaires.
That's what everybody's saying. Everybody's saying it looks like a laundering operation. So this guy, Stale 2000, he, people were calling him out and saying he was scamming, and he started deleting those posts. And apparently that's the thing that he did that was against Reddit's terms of service, right? Like, they don't want somebody deleting. I think it's specifically if somebody's like, you know, you see what I'm saying, chat? If you had a scam and you used your Reddit position to delete comments saying that it was a scam, you can see how maybe Reddit might have a problem with that.
And multi-millionaires, yeah, I'm based.
Yeah, based.
It's just common sense. He's still tweeting from his safe space. There it is. I just got stabbed by a crazy white commie leftist rider today in Minnesota, all for pointing out the replacement of 70 IQ, 70 IG, burqa wearing pirate Somali.
Yeah, they only have 70 Instagram followers. Yeah.
Plate carrier blocked it. Jesus is. Oh, so you didn't get stabbed. Oh, so you're claiming you got stabbed. But thank God for my plate carrier, bro. It blocked it. Deus Vault. Yeah, just common sense. I mean, this guy, he just needs to tell people what his opinion is. He just wants people to know his opinion, which is that, the Somalis are 70 IQ and wear burqas and are.
Oh shit, chat. There's 1 minute left for the butterfly goal.
70 IG, actually.
We're running out of time on so many levels.
Real victim. Yeah. Hey, guess.
Coffeezilla is still in first place. Anna Kasparian in second. Hasanabi finds an ICE agent in his chat. Hasanabi had ICE agent. In third place, Pisco debates Chud Logic in fourth place.
What, by the way,
you still have time to vote.
I say fuck around and find out to this, by the way, I'm gonna have and
we still have some time potentially to do bonus content, but it's gonna have to happen quick.
Dipshit.
It happens at all tonight.
Every right-wing dipshit turn around. Hasan Piker abused dog Kaya, 7th of October 2025, live on Twitch. These guys have to be bots.
But yeah, the only defense when Hasan called out this mod of the year for their weird power trip they're doing, right? I think the mod, he's somehow seeding, like he's trying to get more people into the Hasan dog story. I just don't know if it'll work. He co-founded Mythic, but works in an advisor capacity. Okay.
You just sound like an AI chatbot at this point. Hasan, your political takes are good, but you are also such a little shit. All right. Thanks, I guess. That J6 MAGA domestic terrorist Jake Lang was punched in the face today while leading his racist march in Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah, if I hit one RIP bozo towards Jake Lang, okay, or if I said fuck around and find out one time, I get banned. He can literally say that about the government killing someone, though. So as you know, I'm shaking my head. Poor taste. Poor taste, you know.
Oh,
Poor
no.
taste.
That's why he was bleeding. Okay, so mystery solved, chat. Mystery solved.
Jake Lang was doing Nazism the right way. I didn't think this guy had a point, but when he told me that the Somali lady has 70 Instagram accounts, I realized that's not very base of them, and I think I'm a Nazi now. Yeah, he was very convincing.
Oh no, I thought she said had 70 Instagram followers.
Yeah. Let's revitalize that age-old argument. When is it okay to punch a Nazi? When is it okay?
Keep your hands to yourself. You know, you
to
should
punch
always...
a Nazi? Why can't he just do free speech? Why can't he just do politics the right way? Why can't he just do politics the right way? Here's why. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like at this point he's also been snowballed a bit.
If you don't actually show up in force, right, and show up in large numbers when Nazis protest and demonstrate, it creates a false sense of security for these Nazis, right? You have to oppose them. You have to tell them to fuck off. You have to tell them to get the fuck out of your neighborhood. It is your God-given right as an American citizen to do this, okay? And it is actually one of the proudest moments in American history when we did this, okay? When our parents did this, not mine.
Yo, Albert Kiki fan with the 7-stream streak.
Obviously, they came to the United States of America after the fact, but still, you know, many of you have grandparents that fought in World War II, right? So, like, this idea that, you know, you just got to let Nazis roam the streets and say, like, you know, whatever the fuck they want to about your Somali neighbors or about liberals or about leftists or whatever the fuck is silly. It's stupid. You leave them unchecked. They think they have numbers. And then they go out and they grow and they organize and they grow their movement even further. And then once it gets to a certain point, they get to join the federal government.
Wait, what are the odds that he had somebody deck him in the back of the head? I mean, I guess not out of the realm of possibility. There definitely is some like provocateur, agent provocateur shit going on in this protest. I don't know if I don't think I showed you this, chat, but Hasan showed a clip of a guy who was getting like, you know, beat down for being, I think, with ICE or with the cops, and then somebody shows up and says he's with us, and then all of a sudden a an unmarked police vehicle shows up and extracts him. He literally got like exfiltrated out of the protests, right? So there are definitely some law enforcement like planning people in the protests. So it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that he might have done the same. That Planet Ice dude, yeah, he had some. Well, yeah, when they had a cop come up to and say he's with us, but it's like the question should have been who is us, and the answer was the cops. Like, right?
ICE agents, right? So you can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. You always have to oppose them. You have to oppose them. It's the best possible thing you can do. Okay? The best possible thing you could do is tell Nazis to fuck off. Don't you think it's a bit offensive calling these people Nazi? Wait, do you even know what Nazism is? I don't know if you know what Nazism is. And I also personally don't understand why you're still defending this guy who is objectively a neo-Nazi, for the record. Like, the guy that we're talking about here is, you know, straightforwardly a neo-Nazi. I don't know why you are refusing to comprehend that. What would you...
Like, if he will call himself a Nazi, I don't understand why somebody else has such a problem calling him a Nazi, right? This guy's, he's not being like, no, I'm not racist. I just think that, you know, white people have been mistreated by, you know, DEI. And it's not one of those situations where there's even any kind of plausible deniability.
What would cause you to understand that this guy's a neo-Nazi? Like, what can I show you? What can I show of anyone? Really, like any human being, like what action would cause you to go, you know, this guy is actually, I'm not defending him. I was just asking a question. No, you're not. These are not normal questions. Of course I know what Nazism is. And no, I don't think it's a bit offensive calling this person a fucking Nazi, because they are. Don't do this like I'm just curious bullshit.
It's weird that somebody would come out of nowhere and like defend a random person, right? Like if somebody was like out on the streets, chat, and people were like, this guy's a Nazi, would you be like, how dare you call him a Nazi? Don't you think it's a bit offensive that you're calling him a Nazi? I mean, there's some chance that if people are calling some dude a Nazi, it's because he's a Nazi. I don't know if you like live in a right-wing echo chamber where all you ever see is like liberal straw men calling people Nazis, and nobody's a Nazi, no matter how fucking far right they are. But
answer my question now. I'm against political extremism of any kind. Brother, you're the political extremist. Okay, enough. Oh, God, you're so fucking boring. Jesus Christ. Like, we're watching. I just showed you this dude's argument, okay? His argument is that Somalians are 70 IQ. He can't even fucking type it out correctly. Jake lost his banner, lol. Aw. That was in Dearborn, no? This guy specifically is an agitator, a propagandist. A Nazi propagandist, a Nazi agitator. He goes to areas when there's like instability, or he goes to places.
Do you see how that fucking AI edit shit just like pops up? He says Nazi, and it's like here's a picture of Hitler.
Specifically with the purpose.
I mean, that was one of the better pictures, right? Sometimes the pictures are like, really, that's the AI's telling you that this is related to what he's talking about.
Getting people riled up, okay? Like, that's his job. His job is to do exactly this. It's also ironic because he himself, at least at a certain point in his life, was Jewish. Not sure if he still is, but because I've seen him do like anti-Semitic stuff as well, and he might be like one of those guys who was like, I used to be Jewish, but now I'm like a Christian or something. I don't know. He crosses himself all the time. I think he thinks he's Christian. Yeah, you guys have the Jake Lang meta, right? Like, you don't have the former. Like, I've covered it before. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of There's not a lot of.
Joshua Keller says, "You guys, he's not a Nazi. He just thinks like one and wants to do Nazi shit. Yo, he's not a Nazi. All right, he just has NOCD. NOCD is where you have your obsessive compulsive disorder." Expresses itself as compulsive thoughts that you might be a Nazi, or that other people might be perceiving you as a Nazi, right? And the solution for that actually is to watch Nazi propaganda. That's what Destiny's Orbiter's therapist, who I also see, told me, right, that if you're always worried that you might be a Nazi, the solution is just to immerse yourself in Nazi propaganda to assure yourself that you are actually not a Nazi. I have OCD, says Ram Ranch Survivor, and can confirm your explanation of OCD. I'm not talking about OCD. Anyway, this is a very specific comment on a Destiny Orbiter who said something similar at one point. Oh my God.
Great like documentation on this stuff. Like, back in the day, you had Right Wing Watch and shit like that, or even ADL would actually track these extremists and stuff. They don't do that anymore, so it's like difficult to go to like a specific place. There is no like big glossary of extremism any longer. But Jake Lang's entire purpose is to do stuff like this. It's just to hide in the crowd, make himself seem like he's just a regular old MAGA guy. But does this help explain the Nazi accusation? Oh, yeah. So this is after he was... Oh, this is what I was talking about. So this is after he got outed as being Jewish. So he went to Dearborn. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with Jake Lang. So he was doing all this like, white supremacist protesting and things like that, right? And then people were like, wait a minute, who the fuck is this guy? What's his background? So they looked at his background and they realized, yo, is it 700K likes already? What is this? Okay, we'll look at it. Outed as being
chat
for crazy. Yeah, because
for the record, we'll get into that Destiny Orbiter tomorrow, along with the DGGer of the year, Destiny's mod from the podcast with Dan Saltman, who is also, I don't know, I think trying to destroy Reddit right now after failing to destroy Twitch. This is one of the people that was behind the whole spreading of the clips to try to, get advertisers to withdraw from Twitch, right? This guy literally tried to take all of your favorite Twitch streamers' income, right, away from them, or was part of that Dan Saltman effort to do so. Anyway, we'll get more. What is the side of the ICE debate does Pisco take? I am sure that he takes the better side of the debate compared to Chud Logic. I don't know how much you know about Chud Logic, Vadim, if you knew him back in the day, but he used to be somewhat of a leftist and has slowly but surely just become kind of like a, you know, a shitlord commentator specializing in transphobia. Why specializing in transphobia? There's some kind of scandal that he had about like trying to date some trans girls in his you know, coming on to trans girls in his Discord or something like that. So now he's gone full transphobic in order to prove that theory wrong. So yeah, I'm sure that Pisco's you know, Pisco may be DGG's favorite law tuber, and he may have some really sus takes, and he may hang out with some very sus people like Hutch, but I don't know. I like to think that Pisco's got a heart of gold, and one day we will find it, chat. One day.
They're fucking Nazis, man. Of course, that's like the one area where if someone, that's the only time it's appropriate to say outed as being Jewish, when someone is straight up a fucking neo-Nazi and is like presenting himself as like being a Christian, Christ lover, Christ.
I don't want to get into her. Don't worry. She's just, she'll be a side quest tomorrow. Right. But people do need to know that this is who Destiny tried to tap as an orbiter, right? People need to understand that the one common thread between Destiny and all of his orbiters, like whether it be Vosh or Tomfoolery or whoever, is they've all got some sus take when it comes to adults in relationships with minors, or you know, digital harm reduction CSAM or whatever. They've all got real creepy takes when it comes to short stack goblins, and you know, it's disturbing. It's a bit beyond what Chud Logic is accused of, right? Although not entirely, right? What was Chud's deal? Oh yeah, one of the chicks that he was chasing in on his Discord turned out to be 17, and he did at some point like ask if she was legal, but you know, the answer that he got was not like, so chat, if you were on Discord and you were like, I don't know, you know, chatting somebody up, you know, you were interested in them and you just wanted to know, like, hey, before I, you know, take this on any further, like, let's just make sure are you of age, right? And I answer, well, you know, like if I say a whole bunch of stuff before getting to yes, that might make you, you know, if you're smart, that might make you question that and be like, I don't know. I think the person that does not answer immediately affirmatively to being over 18 is somebody that I probably shouldn't be talking to on Discord. But Chud Logic, he's just not as with it as us. He didn't figure that out. But no, Chad, I'm sure he wasn't. I'm sure it's not that he just didn't care. I consider Pisco to be a lib whisperer. Yeah, Pisco can be pretty impressive at times, right? Pretty disappointing at other times, but look, I was friends with him way back, right? So I still hold out hope for the guy.
And then people look into your background and they're like, wait a minute, like you have photos wearing the tefillin. Like, what the fuck do you mean you're a Christ cuck? Like, how did this happen? There's literally a picture of him at the Wailing Wall, dude. What are you talking about? Like, that juxtaposition, I think, is so severe. That juxtaposition is how to bring it up. It's like when people talk about.
I'd say that juxtaposition is more stark than the juxtaposition of Chud's former life as a what was it, a syndicalist bread tuber, to his current life making money from transphobia on the internet.
Like Lindsey Graham being gay, he's like viciously homophobic, but like, you know, he's also definitely gay. Yeah, Jake Lang's campaign of terror. Minneapolis, Minnesota protesters raged. Shouts out to Unicorn Riot, still doing the right, still doing the Lord's deed here. Protesters raged at DHS.
Unicorn Riot chat is doing politics right
in the South Driveway. But this is Jake Lang, right? He's appearing at the Whipple Federal Building in Minneapolis on January 9, 2026. But his background. Here's a picture of Jake Lang kissing the Western Wall in Jerusalem, Israel. The paper in his hand is a bar mitzvah certificate from the Western Wall Heritage Foundation. This is him.
Anyway, so the whole point about Chud Logic is it's a little bit unsure. You know, the person he was talking to did eventually tell him that she was of age, but just did it in such a roundabout way that it's hard to imagine, what kind of judgment somebody would have to think like, oh no, this person's definitely of age. It's totally normal for somebody not to answer that question right away.
Last year, an image of Lang wearing a yarmulke and kissing the Western Wall in Jerusalem, wearing the tefillin too, emerged on X, which has led to an outcry on the right that Lang is subverting their movement in bad faith.
Oh shit, Chad, I forgot. This isn't another incident of Destiny being sus about age of consent, right? The Chud Logic thing. Who came to protect Chud Logic, right? When he was about to be taken down and canceled, when his career was over, who came to give Chud Logic the clean bill of health as far as not being a creep? It was Destiny. It was Destiny, based on the fact that the child that Chud Logic was talking to did eventually claim to be an adult, right? So therefore, no harm, no foul. Chud Logic did nothing wrong, right? It was Destiny that did it. What is up with Destiny and defending like quasi-pedo shit?
It was Shirley, published on December 18th. Lang confirmed that his mother is an Ashkenazi Jew, but adds that he was raised Irish Catholic. He also adds that while he has Jewish blood, he has never practiced Judaism. Bitch, what do you mean you never practiced Judaism?
Well, I mean, he's not very good at it. So I actually agree with him there, Hasan. Like, I give that kiss, I don't know, 2.5, right?
I'm going to be honest. I think he's an agent.
I'm going to say he needs to practice Judaism more.
Like, I think this is like, you know how Tommy Robinson in the UK is a Mossad agent? I think this motherfucker is a Mossad agent. Okay? Straight up. These guys abso-fucking-lutely 100p really get in to these sorts of movements and try to subvert it or try to like really move it in a different direction. Right? Yeah, Tommy Robinson is a UAE agent as well, but that's basically another way to say Israel, okay? Come on. We're talking about the United Arab Emirates. They're Israel, but Muslim, okay? Like, they're two peas in a pod, okay? The United Arab Emirates was funding anti-Islam campaigns in Europe, man. They are the most Israel-coded country on the fucking planet outside of Israel. Anyway, yeah, with their own version of the proxy wars and all this shit. So, in any case, when this came out, when this guy was like, "Oh, I'm a Nazi, I'm a Christian fascist, Christian nationalist, whatever," and then all of a sudden, here's some of his background, right? His spree of media magnet hate rallies come in light of his candidacy for the U.S. Senate seat in Florida that was opened by a departure of the current Secretary of State Marco Rubio. This is Jake Lang. Lang first began to gain attention with his anti-Islam rally in November 18th in Dearborn, Michigan, alongside truck driver and gubernatorial candidate Anthony Hudson. Lang appeared on the scene in an RV with Hudson's face plastered on the side alongside right-wing provocateurs. In far-right influencer Nick Shirley's video of events, right-wing media personality Cam Higbee is another PragerU Mossad agent, for the record. Cam Higbee is another one of those guys who went to like Israel.
I always get Cam Higbee mixed up with the guy that's like running for Congress or whatever.
Gaza, and was like, there is no famine here, okay? Or as your rage likes to say, Mossad. Okay? Cam Higbee used the vehicle as shelter on at least one occasion. Hudson said on scene that he was not affiliated with Lang and did not give them permission to use his image on the RV. Lang attempted to incite a crowd of mostly Muslim community members protecting their neighborhood into violence by first attempting to burn a Quran.
That's his thing. That's his thing. He goes into Muslim communities. He tries to get people to attack him, and then he'll film the attack and say, "Look at how violent these people are."
Slapping a Quran with bacon. Nearly a month later, the bacon stuff is so funny. Anyway, nearly a month later, on December 13th, Lang held a rally in Plano, Texas, against the construction of a new mosque in the community. The basis for the rally was a widely shared post on X, beginning with a post from End Wokeness on November 16th, stating that 48 mosques had been built in the Dallas area within the previous 2 years. The evidence for the claim was a video of somebody zooming into Google Maps on their phone with a location of mosques highlighted from the search with Plano. Not how you say Plano. Plano! Calm down.
It's Plano, Texas, Chad. It's just Texas. It's Plano, Texas. This here's just Plano, Texas.
At the start of 2026, Lang appeared in Washington, D.C. to hold a rally against the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. one that was sparsely attended except for the presence of media. Among his entourage were two who would appear alongside him less than a week later in Minneapolis. So basically what ended up happening is they called him out. Like this story doesn't mention that once they found out that he was doing all these like anti-Islam rallies, but he was Jewish himself, even though he was presenting himself as like a Christian nationalist, a Christian fascist, and this photo came out, he then did the AIPAC rally, okay, the anti-AIPAC rally. And he like chucked a bunch of pennies at like, what he was claiming were Jews or whatever. And I think the reason why he did that is because he wanted to.
Oh yeah, this is the one where they had people in costumes, right? I think they had somebody in a stereotypically like a Happy Merchant meme costume or something.
Wanted to basically show like he's a bona fide neo-Nazi, which he is, right? I mean, you can be Jewish and also be a neo-Nazi. Stephen Miller exists, right? Like, I mean, there's plenty of examples, especially, Jewish Nazis, the damn near entirety of the Israeli Knesset, with the exception of like two guys, So, and one of them is Arab anyway, like, and not Jewish. So there are plenty of Jewish neo-Nazis. They're in Israel for the most part, and I think Jake Lang is a guy that is working at the behest of Israel as an asset. Okay? The only reason why he's doing this, like, oh, I hate AIPAC, I hate Jew shit, I think is to maintain the image.
Their Jewish money and our politicians. They have held us into their forever wars. And we are saying
So one of them is Biden. Is he throwing the pennies at Biden? I guess the connection is supposed to be Biden supports Israel, so I don't know. Biden's Jewish. I don't get it.
Only reason why he's doing this, like, oh, I hate AIPAC,
Hillary's back there,
I hate Jew shit, I think is to maintain the image.
Their Jewish money and our politicians.
Okay, so that is Hillary, right? There's like a Satan guy. He's throwing the Jewish money at Hillary. I got okay. So she's the politician that's getting the Jewish money thrown at her. I get it, sort of.
They have held us into their forever wars.
Throwing the money at Biden.
And we are.
And it's pennies, which if you don't know, chat, it's like a classic, sort of semi-violent way to the people, the anti-Semites, do their thing is to throw pennies at Jewish people.
Saying as American Christians, it's America first, it's America only.
I'm sorry. I mean,
what an embarrassment.
Come on, dog. Really? 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 Like, I mean, what? What in tarnation? What the heliante? I've seen more believable Batman cosplay. Yeah, it's like, sure, bud. Sure. Yeah, you love Christ. You hate Israel for sure. You really hate Israel. Brother, you can't be tongue kissing the wall and then turn around and be like, oh yeah, I fucking hate Israel and the Jews. Like, you're wearing tefillin, man. What the fuck? Like, that's crazy. Like, how do you go from doing this with a bar mitzvah certificate from the Western Wall Heritage Foundation to this in a matter of years?
We will not. There you go, Joe Biden.
He looks, isn't he a little old for a bar mitzvah? I don't know if can you get that later?
Also, it's a really oh, that's the other Nazi. That one right here. God, they're such fucking goobers, dude. He's doing Jewish tekiah. Yeah, he's doing tekiah. But you can be Jewish and against the Israeli penetration of America. I'm not saying that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's not doing that because I think he's doing Israeli penetration in America. He's not an anti-Zionist, guys. And perhaps the reason why he's not an anti-Zionist is, and you can tell, because I'm noticing that there is one person that's absent from this protest here, and that's Donald Trump. This isn't 2026. Or not 2025. In 2025. What the fuck do you mean? Joe Biden, you're throwing pennies at Joe Biden. Look at the left side guy. I know. Fucking awesome.
And just think if you want to understand the difference between right-wing anti-Semitism and left-wing pro-Palestinian advocacy, right? Here it is right here. Do you see Joe Biden as being bought by, as being controlled by the Jews, right? To do good, to be on Israel's side? Or do you see Israel as being the United States' chess piece in the Middle East to enact its agenda? It's obviously the second, but don't try to, argue that to one of these guys, because they'll say you're just afraid to name the Jew or some bullshit. You know what I mean? They've got their whole like how they recognize real ones in their movement is, will you be unambiguously anti-Semitic, not anti-Israel, but essentially anti-Israel, but blaming Jewish people for the way that Israel is, rather than blaming Israel.
CCP Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton.
Wait, my boss sucks? Who, Jeff Bezos?
Adamson, these people. That was right off the noggin.
Yeah, I'm getting that Bezos money, chat. I'm living it up here in Thailand.
Our country can only stand
on these capitalist platforms. Oh, you meant to tag Albert. Okay.
America only. We will have no choice.
Also, chat, what epic metal vocalist showed up to the rally? Who is this epic metal vocalist?
Declare our country a white Christian country. We will have no choice but to push back against the never-ending immigrant takeover.
Those are some sick vocals. Who's dropping those vocals?
That has been brought about by those who have paid off our politicians. They have flooded Europe.
Chat, the real question I want to know is, are they with the anti-Semitic protest, or are they like counter-protesting it?
Flooded America with all different types of brown people and Middle Eastern Muslims.
For the record, wait, is this guy Jewish? I mean, that's him. What do you think? What do you think, chatter? What do you think What do you think is happening here? I'm telling you right now, he is 100% the same type of agitator that Tommy Robinson is. Tommy Robinson isn't Jewish, of course, but he is a paid agent of Israel. His entire job is to go into like these Nazi spaces and talk about how he is Mr. Christ cuck, how he loves Christ, and he wants to do Christo-fascism, but then try to move all of their attention and move all of that enmity in the direction of Muslims in the United States of America. Okay? That pic of him is kissing Judaism goodbye. You don't have to be Jewish to kiss the wall. Maybe he's an American politician. Chatter, he's wearing tefillin. Okay? With a bar mitzvah certificate from the Western Wall Heritage Foundation. I know you're making a joke. I know. Like this is maximum, okay? This is it. Like this is, yeah, how many Gentiles get bar mitzvahed at the wall? Is this like being exposed as a secret Korean in Japan? Yes. He was Jewish maxing right here. Like, this isn't like, oh, I went to bar mitzvahs. I did, I lit up a menorah and stuff. Like, this is the most, like, this, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, this is like.
In before Ethan Klein accuses Hasan Piker of having burnt a menorah.
He's more Jewish than Tony DeCoppel is, okay? Not only matrilineally, but also just straightforward. Like, he's just Jewish, right? And I think the reason why he's doing this here to be like, oh, I hate AIPAC, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, they love AIPAC. I hate AIPAC. I love that AIPAC has become like the fake anti-Israel people's like #1 target, by the way. Because like, Democrats,
and they want to sell it to you as like AIPAC is just coming at you with more money than anyone in lobbying out there, right? And just completely buying up all the politicians, right? They're all under the influence of AIPAC, and it's kind of the opposite way, right? Biden himself said that if Israel did not exist, the United States would have to invent one, right? That essentially it's a key piece on the chessboard for the great game that the United States is involved in, right? And it is very much, the U.S.'s piece.
Gavin Newsom will be like, I'll never take a single dollar from AIPAC. And he's kind of doing that here as well, where he's like, yeah, I hate AIPAC. These guys, the Jewish politicians, they took over our country. Not Trump though, just Joe Biden, you know, just Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. Like, it's just, I think he did this specifically because people were bringing up that photo to protest, to be like, you're not a Christian nationalist, shut the fuck up. Last year, an image of Lang wearing a yarmulke kissing the Western Wall in Jerusalem emerged on X, which has led to an outcry on the right that Lang is subverting their movement in bad faith. In an interview with Shirley published on December 18th, 2025, Lang confirmed that his mother is an Ashkenazi Jew, but adds that he was raised Irish Catholic. He also adds that he has Jewish blood. He has never practiced Judaism. While he contends that the picture of him at the Western Wall was simply a rite of passage for tourists in Israel, he's pictured holding a bar mitzvah certificate from the Western Wall Heritage Foundation addressed to him, his name spelled in Hebrew characters. Additionally, his mother's Instagram also includes another angle of the event with the caption, bar mitzvah / bat mitzvah at the wall in Israel. The photo was taken on May 17th, 2016, when Lang was 21 years old. Okay. His mother's Instagram also is laden with numerous posts celebrating Hanukkah, suggesting she is at least partially an observant Jew. In a counter-protest to Lang in Plano, Texas, protesters unfurled a banner with the enlarged version of the photo with the text, "There are no Muslims on the Epstein list." Also, that's not even true, for the record. That statement is objectively untrue. There are a lot of motherfuckers from Dubai on the Epstein list. As a matter of fact, one of Jeffrey Epstein's besties is a very high-ranking, from the United Arab Emirates. So the notion that there are no Muslims on the Epstein list is completely untrue. Mohammed bin Salman is all over that shit. Plenty of fucking Muslims are all over that shit. These guys just don't know any better. Just wanted to point that out. I don't think there's any Somalis on the Epstein list, but there might be. Who knows? You know, that's just. But there's definitely Muslims on the Epstein list. But yeah, I don't know what these. I don't know what this situation was. Wait.
Jake Lang, is this you? Jake, is this you, or am I mixing people up? Is this Jake, or am I mixing people up?
Like, I can't tell if this is like Nazi infighting or if these guys are actually calling him out. Like, Unicorn Riot is obviously an anti-fascist movement, so I know that for a fact. I don't know what this guy's background is. Like, this could very well be. It could very well be Nazi infighting. It could very well be a bunch of dudes who are like, you're not, you know. It could very well be a bunch of dudes that are just like taking advantage of the Nazi infighting to just really bring the contradictions to the forefront here. You know, they're pulling a diss you.
I want to make sure we care about journalistic integrity and speaking truth. You know,
Nazi infighting law, right? Wait, what do you mean? Brother, Jake Lang is a self-described Christian nationalist. Hello? Like, yeah, Unicorn Riot is anarchist. They're fantastic. They do fantastic work. Love those guys, okay? Love those guys, gals, and Demperers at Unicorn Riot. They're amazing. But he isn't, though. Does anyone actually believe he's Christian? Well, he presented himself as a Christian until they found out that he wasn't, right? So then they say, stop pretending to be Christian, Jake. One of the protesters called out to him. Lang, clearly flustered, continued walking past the protesters. The controversy was further kicked up when Lang announced he was suing several right-wing podcasters who discussed the idea that Lang was Jewish and simply pretending to be Christian to attract bad attention.
Okay, any moment now, I'm going to get the ring from my phone. We came so close, chat, but so far, 86 out of 100. I guess we'll have to pick up on the bonus content tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm rating you into Bill Boneless, who is watching some good content right now, if you know what I'm saying. So go over and you know, see, take a look at what Bill's got going, and yeah, I'll be back at you tomorrow. Remember, the really good stuff, at least as far as I think, like the fire content of this week, is happening tomorrow. I don't know if we'll have the numbers for it, because again, I don't know if people realize, like, I don't know how to term this. This is like a DGG mod who has gone nutso on Reddit. He's trying to take over Reddit with his clout from having been one of the big LSF mods. And there's so much shit. There's so much shit attached to it, right? Including the quote unquote pedo orbiter of Destiny. I mean, the which pedo orbiter, right? Tomfoolery, Mr. Girl. No, this is a new one. New pedo orbiter unlocked, chat. New pedo orbiter of Destiny's unlocked tomorrow. So stick around for that. Much love to everybody. Thank you for being here. I am going to go ahead and shout out my Patreons. Oh my god, there we go. There's the phone. There's the phone. Let me know it's time to get to class. Okay, so if you support me on Patreon at the $5 level, let me turn this sucker off. At the $5 level or above, I give you a fancy shout out at the beginning and ending of every stream. Since we're near the end of the stream now, let me do those now. Okay, shouts out go to user JMB, Brian, Emily French, Big Al of the Cake Mix and the Cake Remix. Shouts out to Direful. Shouts out to Sarah. Shouts out to Izzy Mandius. Shouts out to Steven Sayers. Shouts out to Animus. Shouts out to Infallible Fowl. Shouts out to Oral Ellipsis. Shouts out to Nadia Yvette. Shouts out to Choki. Shouts out to Moe Noip. Shouts out to Funky Monkey. Shouts out to Temporal Insanity. Shouts out to Good for Gabby. Shouts out to Jules K. Shouts out to Crystal Severus. Shouts out to Buffy Geek. And a fancy shout out to Rachel K, Omega Star, and Zara Xerox. There we go. Those are the shout outs. Thank you, mods, for taking care of us, for keeping us safe. Thank you to the Thumb Gang for getting my content out to more people. Thank you to Bill Boneless for the shout out, it looks like. Yeah, that's really nice. And again, I'm going to be back tomorrow. Don't sleep on tomorrow's content, okay? I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's going to be fire, and you're going to laugh. We're gonna laugh a little bit before we jump back into. I'm also going to be talking about what's going on in Minnesota to probably tomorrow and for the foreseeable future. So much love, everybody. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other, and I will see you tomorrow.